You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the only podcast that talks about my four favourite subjects: movies, TV shows, video games and board games. I'm your host Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. Today's episode we're going to be talking about those TV shows we absolutely loved, watched all the way to the end, and then were utterly disappointed with the ending. And I'm joined by a bunch of guys that love to talk about TV series. Guys, introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hi, Farmer Sutra, go cool, back for season 3.
Hi guys, it's Gal, aka Grey Fox, in the building.
Hi, and I'm Bog Standard Dave.
Nice. In the building, you mean the studio conservatory, right?
Yeah, I'm at the studio, sorry.
Nice. Thanks for coming on the show, guys. And you got your list ready?
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go.
I understand this was a tough one for some of you guys here.
I struggled with this one, I gotta say, personally, I struggled.
Yeah, it was tough. Because a lot of the things you like, you know? And it's kind of like, yeah, but when you really think about it, there was a lot of shows that were kind of like, shit, the ending was a bit shit. It was a great show, but
was it so bad to go on the list, though?
Yeah.
Well, I had to think hard about my ones. Like two sneaks, I had to sneak in there because I didn't really, because it's a fantastic show, but I had thought about it at the end and I was like, you know what, it is, you know, that's a bit like cheapy, you know. No, I just didn't enjoy the ending.
Yeah.
The way it ended.
Just killed it. Yeah.
And it's got to be one of those shows that sort of is enough to get you involved in it, so it's not something you watch one episode of and then just bin it off. But then it's got to be one of that little niche of shows that you enjoy, and then at the end you're like, no,
exactly.
Why did you do that?
But this is the thing with me, though. Like, this is why I found it extra especially hard because, as I mentioned in previous episodes, I you know, if I don't like it, I won't finish it.
Yeah.
So it might be good or something, and the ending's really worse. But I would have stopped halfway. So that's why doing my list was quite hard.
That's actually really true, because a lot of shows, especially now when it's on a streaming platform, right, your attention span is not really there. So if you're hating it by like halfway through or something like that, you're going to move on to the next one. But then if you really finish it, that's because you really liked it. But then that's interesting, Anne, because then when you mentioned this topic, I was thinking about it and it was like, yeah, it was like going to a peak. And then at the end, it's just like, it fell off because it was a shit ending. And it's just like, and it shows that I like that.
It's got to hook you. It's got to keep you for them series. And then it's got to really destroy you at the end.
Absolutely.
But this is the thing now. Now you're like, oh man, they're going to ruin the ending now, and they sort of thing. And then some don't, but you know, you have that little...
A majority don't, in all fairness. But I think if you get too hyped up on the show...
Yeah,
and your expectations get a bit too high, and then you're like...
That's the key word, hype and expectations. You got to keep it minimal if you don't.
And some of them sucker you in because they've been so good, and then somehow someone checks out right at the end for the last series and ruins the whole thing.
The whole fucking thing.
I think we have one show.
Just say, I think we're all going to clash on the number one, but hey, we're here.
Fingers crossed.
Let's go into some questions while we got you here. So let's go for, without spoiling... In your top 5, can you remember the first time you was disappointed by a series?
Yeah. Well, first time. See, this is like, again, it's difficult because it could have been that the first season and the whole season was rubbish or something, and the ending was rubbish, and then I didn't go back to it. So I find it difficult because maybe there was another 2-3 seasons after that. I wouldn't know if it gone better or worse. For me, it's a bit difficult to answer that one.
That's a good question, and I think going on from what Gal said, like, I don't know if that's in relation to the question, but Prison Break, I guess. Like, I think after season, because it's finished now, right?
Oh, that's my number one.
What?
was,
I'm only joking. But no, you're right. Yeah, that was one where
it was like
because they cancelled it, and then they brought it back, and then they
it's just like
didn't they do a 5th series years later?
that was the one they brought back, and then
I remember someone explained it. They come out of prison. No, they go in prison. They come out. Then they go back.
It's like, so season 1 is like them getting out of prison. Yeah. Season 2 is really good because they're on the run. Then they go back in prison at the end of that.
And then season prison.
Yeah, and then season 3 is like it's like a Guantanamo Bay looking type thing, isn't it? Yeah, and it's just very.
See, like again, I've only seen the first season, and I think I did right. Watch the first season undone, and then it went downhill after that apparently. So I didn't even.
Okay.
So that would have been my first sort of letdown.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that one, that's not on my list. And now I'm thinking, it probably should have been, but you just reminded me about it. Which
Exactly. This is exactly what I'm thinking. But I didn't finish it. So
didn't they killed the main character off in the end of season 4?
Do you know about that, Dave? So and then they killed him. Yeah, go on. Yeah,
they killed him off, and it was a bit of a silly kill off because it was like, I've got to electrocute myself to save my love, and it didn't sort of fit with the rest of the series.
Awful woman again.
And then it sort of cuts away and she's also and then it's like and then somehow however many years down the line, he didn't die.
No, exactly. And it happened twice, Dave. There was another one where one character, their head was cut off, beheaded, and it's like the end of 7. It opens this thing, and you see like this.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? Like that, and you're thinking, okay, he's definitely dead. And then next thing, she's alive. She's alive in the next season.
So what was the explanation for that? Then?
And the explanation was it was a fake head. It was a prosthetic head.
Wow. She was the box stayed on the table, and she just poked her head through a hole in the bottom of it. Obviously.
Yeah, it was like a hole there.
Play dead.
Yeah.
Stay down. Dave, you remember?
It's really hard because if you're asking about the first one that I remember, that is going on my list.
That's fine. As long as it's in your list, it's fine.
Because it's almost like an event that you remember, isn't it? The first time you were let down. So it really it hits harder because obviously as you've watched other series, you're like, oh, this is going the same way as that series did, and you sort of anticipate it a bit more. But the first one is 100% on my list. And I will.
And it's number 1, probably.
No, it's not. It's not. It's an earlier one.
Okay.
And you will agree with me when I bring it up.
Okay.
Interesting to hear the top 5. Right. So obviously, did that ever affect you stopping you watching other shows and still thinking the ending might be rubbish, or did you just it's fuck it, I'm just going to go straight into it, and if it's rubbish, it's rubbish.
Me personally, no. Like I always give shows a chance. So if something's letting me down, I won't say, oh, I'm not going to watch that genre or that type of TV shows again, because I'll give things a chance. Like I said, like if it doesn't, like I'm doing a repeat like John does. Like if it doesn't grab me, then I'll just give it.
Yeah, but John just watches the show and looks at the pretty pictures. It doesn't actually watch the show. John, if you're listening, I know you only watch it just to get through and be like, I saw it before you.
I'm convinced. You know what he does? I think he just watches it on YouTube.
I still haven't watched Dark Season 3 because of him.
No. Oh,
Dude,
really?
You need to go back on that.
Can't. He hyped up too much for me.
Yeah, but now is
he ruined season 2. Sorry, John, if you're listening.
Damn, John. That was a good season.
Yeah. John! What a name.
Why?
But,
why? Sorry, carry on.
Shit, I forgot. What
was the question?
So, when you got affected by that first rubbish ending, did it ever affect you watching series from then on, or did you just go in open-minded?
Just move on, innit?
Again, it's I tend to like move on, fresh slate with anything, unless it's like very similar, same actors, same sort of thing. But we are very blessed at the moment to have all these different sites where you can get your TV and your movies from.
Sure.
So nowadays it's not so much of a big thing. If it was back in the days of 4 channels on TV
and weekly episodes,
you've got to tape it or something.
Yeah. Whereas now you start watching something on Netflix or
you take it for
Prime or whatever, and if it starts going a bit naff, you're just like, meh.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go to the next one on my to watch list.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll just skip on, so it's not so much of a big thing. But my number 3. Back in those days.
Back in the day. What about you, sir?
Yeah, it's the same. I don't think anything has totally pushed me away from watching something.
Nothing's really affected you from like, I can't do it anymore.
No, it's true, and it's like what you said, Dave. There's so much. Like you can find anything on everything now.
But with you're quite peculiar with what you watch, though. You don't. You're not like John. You watch anything. You're like realistic or something war driven or something.
Exactly. Like I can't. There's certain shows.
Have you seen his recommendations?
No, but
sorry, John. I had to get it in there.
But you know, arguments.
It's different, isn't it? From
you won't
other...
watch something like I would, like something mythical or something like that. You'll avoid stuff like that.
I know. It's
you're quite particular. You know what you're watching. You know what you're gonna.
Exactly.
Oh, too good for fantasy, are you?
I can never get into it. But then you watch something and someone talks about something, and then when you watch it, it's like, oh yeah, that's not bad. That's actually not bad at all. Like it's okay. So I'm quite open minded in that sense now. Like than I was before. Before I used to be like, it has to be real. Everything has to be believable. Now it's like.
You give it things shot. I think because of the podcast, I think you started to.
Yeah, definitely. Recommendations from everyone.
No, some of the box sets you come up with, because there's a couple that I hadn't known about, and you still haven't let me borrow it yet.
Oh yeah, I need to give that to you. Unless you have Now TV, I found out that.
Oh, it's on there.
On there. Yeah.
So they'll be on Sky then, won't it?
Can you sort out your personal dealings after?
Oh yeah, so after the podcast, yeah. So here we're going to go to the part that you sort of brought up there, Big Al. Has anyone ever recommended a series but has warned you about the ending, and you still watched it even to judge for yourself?
Yes, I've got one for that one. Yeah, I think you, but I think you.
How dare you? I would never give you a show with a crap ending.
No. Oh, you meant with the crap ending?
Yeah. So they recommended a show and told you the ending was rubbish.
Oh, okay.
And have you still watched it?
No.
To judge for yourself. And I'll give you an example. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Lost. Right. I love that show and I love the ending, but to some people, i.e. a majority of people, don't like the ending.
I'm praying right now no one's got Lost in their list because I want to lose my shit.
Well, lose your shit.
Dave, don't.
Oh my God. You should have seen the look he just gave me.
No, I'm going to be upset. But going back to the question.
Gal's going to cry. He's literally in tears.
It's weird. I don't know, but I can only think of one where you recommended it me, and it wasn't a bad ending. I think you said something happens at the end of the. I think it's what's it called? 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
and you said, at the end, it's quite horrific or whatever. And see what you think. And I don't know if those people listening who don't know about the show, is based on bullying. So I watched like 3 episodes and I couldn't do it because it's like heavily on like bullying and how like kids these days.
It's quite real.
Yeah,
isn't
it's quite.
It?
I told that and I couldn't even.
Do you know they've cut it now?
Have they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
That last bit I heard.
They've cut it down. Apparently, a lot of people complained about it.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Maybe because I experienced stuff back in the day that maybe brought back memories. I couldn't do it, but
yeah, right.
It's just annoying. The same with. I think you recommend Elite.
Elite, yeah. Season 4's out today.
Yeah,
woo!
Again, that has some bits of bullying and stuff like that. I can't do stuff like that.
That's the Spanish show, isn't it?
But it's a brilliant show. But you warned me about the ending. But I didn't get to the ending.
And like stuff like Leftovers as well. Again, fantastic show. I like the ending. Not many people did. So would you go in and give it a try? Or?
I will give it a try, definitely. If someone's recommended me, I'll give it a go. But obviously, that one I couldn't. But yeah. I'll give anything. If any of you guys recommend, you need to watch this, but it might be like this, then I'll still give it a go.
You guys, anyone?
I think I got spoiled the ending of Friends when it aired in 2004. I think it's 2004 when it got aired, and I didn't watch it, but I came into school the next day and I was like, oh, everyone's talking about it. Okay, I'm going to watch it, and someone just told me, oh, that was what happened at the end, and whatever.
You still carried on watching it?
I still continued watching it, and then when I finally did see the ending, years later after getting through in 267 episodes or whatever, I was like, whoa, that made sense. That person had no idea what he was saying. Literally it was like,
I think sometimes the endings you got to judge for yourself.
Exactly.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different, right? So everyone has a different take on it, but that was probably...
What you do?
Yeah.
Not TVs. A lot of movies. I tend to find... I'm usually the one banging on about a TV series to other people and saying, oh, yeah, go and watch this, but... Just be aware of the ending. Yeah. I find myself in that boat a lot of the time. There's quite a few movies, but that's for another podcast.
It sure is. It's for many podcasts.
I think you need another book now.
So, oh my God, this book's just full of it. So, next question. So, are there any series you would recommend but are unsure about the ending to someone?
So you recommend it, but you're not sure about the ending.
Yeah, so say like, Ed, I'm going to recommend this show to you, but I'm not sure the ending will be your cup of tea. Would you still recommend that show, or?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I would.
You already gave me one with a crap ending.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm going to be cautious with you now because you don't have a lot of background in anime, so I'm going to be very, very cautious.
I wasn't going to say that. There's going to be something completely different.
We're not going to go into that.
I don't want you to cry.
No, because I think if I've enjoyed it and in the end I'm not too sure about, but I'll still think someone else will, have a different take. I'll still recommend it to,
Yeah,
and whether they watch it or not, it's up to them, really.
Like, I'll give my opinion on it and say, but this is what happens at the ending, but see what you think, sort of thing.
Can you pick one that's not in your top 5?
I would definitely say Prison Break now. There is one that
Get electrocuted for my girl.
there's an anime that I watched.
Of course there is.
Really good one. Really, really good one. It's called Erased. I think it's 2 seasons. The ending is not sure, but I'll definitely recommend you guys to check it out. I'll recommend it.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
it's
there's
really good.
2. There's an anime and a real life one, live action one. Both are meant to be really good. I haven't seen the live action one.
Yeah.
So I've got a perfect example for this one,
Oh.
and I recommend this to people because the whole of the series is really good, but I thought the ending was a massive cop out.
Okay,
and it's a horror TV series. Haunting on Hill House.
I thought you were going to say that on Netflix.
I love the first season. I haven't seen the second season.
So I'm dealing with just the first series because it's kind of like they're not continual. It's like a completely separate story.
I hate when they do that. Yeah,
and it uses some of the same actors. The first series I really enjoyed, and I still think people should go out and watch it if they like a good sort of suspensey horror ghost house story thing.
Yeah.
In that it's done very good. There's a lot of really tense scenes, I think. There's
things
things hidden in the background.
44 ghosts.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really
There's some
clever.
really, really interesting and clever sort of shots and scenes and things like that where you really sort of get dragged along in that tension, which I quite like in a horror. And there's a fantastic sort of episode where it's in like a funeral home. And it's like done in. It looks like
That's the last
one.
episode about
No. That's sort of. It's in the middle.
yeah, that's the episode that it's done in one shot. It's incredible
I think
episode.
it's
A
that is.
whole episode in one shot.
It's meant to be done, but you can tell it's edited.
I think there was 3 shots, but it is. It is. And if you watch it first and sort of enjoy it as an episode without being too critical. Then go back and watch it and think, damn,
how did they do that?
Because it's not just, say you've got a TV series and it's set, say the whole episode is set in someone's house, right? And you've got 4 actors who are the main characters banging on doing whatever they're doing. This is different because half of the series takes place in the past. So you've got kid actors playing the adults, haven't you? And then sort of younger other act playing the adult characters when they're a bit younger.
Yeah.
And this episode in the morgue, not the morgue, the funeral home, one shot, and the camera's moving around quite cleverly, and just imagine the chaos going on in the background. So because what happens is the camera will pan around an adult character, and then in the background it's the child actor of that person.
Wow.
Like sitting in the background. So
Timed very well, isn't it?
It's a piece of work because. And then at some point, like, one of the characters is dead in an open coffin, and the adult brothers and sisters are arguing amongst themselves, and then the camera moves round. Yeah, well, it's an episode,
Yeah.
And then the camera moves round, and she's standing up closer, kind of thing, as a ghost. And then at one point, they walk from the set of the funeral home, and it's like walking back in time because the father walks into the big haunted house set, and and the whole time I'm watching that, thinking,
blowing your mind.
Good God. Imagine if you're the one person who goes, so, I can't believe you just, line? Bang, straight back.
Because everything would have just
straight. You'd have to go back to one. Or imagine being the camera guy and your job is to sort of, there's a story about that I read or I listened to the commentary, But imagine being the camera guy following around the guy shooting it, and your job is to like move the cables out of the way so they're not in shot, and you leave one cable trailing along because someone on the internet is going to find that and circle it and point it out.
Did you know someone did that with Mandalorian season 2?
Did they?
Yeah, there's like Carl Weathers' character there, and there's a guy in blue jeans and a t-shirt in the background, literally just half of him sticking out. So I can tell you, I can see where Dave's coming from on that. Yeah,
but
someone will find find it if there's one little fuck up.
Someone will pick up on it.
Imagine being that one person. Right, guys, we've got to restart this sort of
because the key grip was in shot.
Or you forgot your lines. We're going to start right back to the beginning. I think on Netflix, I think I bought that on DVD.
Yeah.
Really old style.
Good. It's underrated.
But they had I think it was like a commentary from the director on it, and he says at one point the camera sort of catches on something, or it bumps over something. So as you're walking back, you see it pan round and it's bumped over a bit of carpet or a lead or something. And there's a little shake, but the actors obviously knew it happened and just rolled with it and carried on, and they styled it out. But going back to the original question, right? So it's I personal taste, think it's a really good tense horror, your classic horror story of your haunted house, and the whole thing revolves around this sort of entity of a house that's haunted, and it is trapping people and sort of feeding on them. And that's why they're ghosts trapped in this house, right?
Yeah.
And then the ending goes into like a happy ending.
Yeah.
In a horror series. It's like, oh no, actually, this house has been consuming people and killing them and holding them as ghosts and draining them of their essence, whatever you call it. And then at the ending, the two parents get to die and be together, and it's all happy because they could spend eternity as ghosts together. And it's like, that is a cop-out. That is a pandering to the people who have to have a happy ending.
I want them to be alive and miserable.
No,
it's true. Yeah.
Everything ends with a happy ending. Sometimes it's more impactful if it's a bittersweet or if it's a tragic ending. Because otherwise you'd have had sort of Romeo and Juliet done in that style, and it would have been, oh no, don't drink that poison, I've just woken up, I was sleeping or so. And, let's ride off into the sunset on a horse and live happily ever after, and then it wouldn't be such a classic.
Exactly.
But
I'll tell you where you're getting from in that. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't seen. Sorry, talking about Romeo and Juliet. No, I've seen one episode of that, and it's really absolutely scary. It's the one. Is that the one with the really lanky guy on one of the episodes?
Yes. Yeah. The ghosts in that were
absolutely. I remember watching it thinking. Yeah. I was in holiday in Greece randomly, and we had nothing else to do. We was watching it at night, and I was like, I couldn't go to sleep.
I remember like when watching it, I think I heard IGN said, "Oh, there's so many ghosts in it," and I was like watching it while I was watching it as well, and I was like actually like looking out for it. And there's one, I can't remember which one it was. I think it's there's one in the cupboard somewhere. And I was looking for it. And when you see it, you're like, oh man, that's...
But you miss it. Yeah. Just if you're casually watching it, you miss it.
This is the issue though, because I'm not really into the whole haunted stuff, but I watched it with the wife, and I noticed one in like episode 2 or something. It's like, is that meant to be there? Is that such and such? Looked on the Google, obviously, it mentions the cameos. But the thing was that I was looking for that more than focusing on the story was the issue.
Yeah, you're hunting for the little Easter eggs.
It's like I'm looking for Where's Wally. not interested in invested in the show. It's like, oh, there's one.
But anyway, so I would still tell someone to watch it because it is really good. The ending is a bit of a cop-out, but I remember sort of reading again. I went on the internet and started reading articles. So I don't know how true this is, but someone was saying it because in that there's the house, there's a locked room behind a red door, if you remember.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
And through all the episodes, I'm going to spoil it for...
He's not going to watch it.
He's not going to watch it.
He's too tasteful for haunted and fantasy stuff.
And as you sort of watch through the episodes, each of these 5 children, when they're in the earlier years, they have their own little room. So one of them has a dance studio, one of them has a tree house, one of them has like a little sort of room where he's got an old computer console set up and all the stuff is covered up in dust. And you just think it's part of this big gothic mansion. But at the end, you realise they've actually all been in this locked red room.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can tell it because there's a very distinct, narrow, like oblong window in the background, even in the tree house. So if you're really switched on, you might have noticed and gone, hang on a minute, they're probably all in the same place. The house is sort of morphing to be, that room is morphing to be which each of them needed to be.
You would have clocked on,
And this is where I get really annoyed because I remember reading somewhere that the original plan, or one of the plans put forwards for the ending of this series, was going to be they had the happy ending. And then if you remember, one of the guys is a drug addict. Yeah. And he goes and they having like a 2 years clean party with a cake. Yeah, and someone was saying originally they were going to put this oblong window on the back. So that flips it all on its head, because then it implies that they never actually escaped the house.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would have been a banging ending.
That was
So much better.
If they did that.
They didn't
Yeah.
do it. Sorry, guys.
Genius.
So I say, watch this program, but watch.
But
watch
then
this
again,
other
some
ending.
people might like you obviously didn't, but some people might like it.
And
But yeah.
that's that's their taste.
That would've
Somebody
been
liked
amazing.
the ending of Lost, apparently, but
Did you
so
see
good.
season 2? Is it any good, any worth?
not as good as the first.
I thought so. Yeah.
I mean,
It does that, doesn't
It is
it?
on my
So,
list, but I was,
yeah.
I was like,
it was on your list.
to watch.
Oh,
list
okay.
on to watch.
Well, give it a
Season 2.
watch, because again, you might like it, I might not.
Gonna put that on my
Alright.
list. That sounds amazing.
Well, he spoiled it for you now.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
going to watch it.
spotted
I'm going to do
There
what
is
I
a
did with
really
the Easter eggs.
He's not going to remember unless he listens to the episode again anyway.
And also, there is a really cheap jump scare that my sister warned me about, and she said it's in episode. I think it's episode 7 or something, and
Is
it
it
is
in
a
the car?
cheap. Yes, it is, and it is. and I
Oh,
was
there you
waiting
go.
for it to come, and
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
cheapest flipping jump scare, and it's still got
Still
me.
got you.
It got me as well.
Is that the one where you just turn up at the windows? Like, dish,
No.
like that? No.
No, not quite. I'm not going to tell you, because if you do get around to watching it, I want you to.
I think I've seen it. It's with the addict, right? The addict brother.
Nope.
No, not that.
No.
I'm going to watch
Don't
it.
try and solve it.
Trying to
Like,
solve it, man.
so good pick,
I'm gonna watch
Dave.
it. I'm gonna watch
Go, do you have one at all?
Do you know? Okay. Yeah, I know you two are going to kick my ass when I say this. I'm sorry, all right? Death Note. I'm sorry. The anime. I didn't like the ending.
What?
I don't like the ending.
Thank you.
I don't like the ending.
Okay, Gal's
ending
gonna
was
kick
just
my ass.
rushed and like, oh, it's done, it's over with now.
Yeah. Thank you, Anne. That's basically how it felt. Have you
Yeah.
seen it, Dave? Have you seen Death Note? By any chance? Or you know about
no.
the Death Note?
No, everyone keeps going on at me to watch it, and it is on my to-do pile.
Well, yeah.
You to do that
That's
ASAP
the
right
thing.
now.
All right.
But back to you.
Well, here's the thing.
I've got the
because-
Blu-rays if you want to borrow it.
Refresh.
So's my sister. She
Right.
bangs on about it.
The funny thing was, like, we were on true story. Like, we were coming back from Peru on a long plane journey.
Do you ever spend any time in the country?
Only in lockdown. He's got no choice in the matter.
Here's the reason why we got COVID.
I'm shaking, mate.
I almost went unheard.
I like that. That's really good. Yeah, and it was a long fucking journey. My friends were like, what should we watch? And they had all of Death Note on there. And I was like, oh, by the way, the ending, like Elle dies, you know, the main guy. And he was like, no. And I was like, dude, just
spoiler.
watch it. I was like, just watch it. You know, see how you like it. And he absolutely loved it. Like, this dude, the food was coming and he was just like that on the screen. He was totally engrossed. And by the time we got into Madrid, like the main part of the flight, and he finished it and he watched it and he was like, dude, no, I really like the ending. And I was like, oh, okay.
Do you know,
Cool.
I
I'm
honestly
glad you liked
thought it would
Like,
come
yeah.
back. Like, it was like, because he was so smart.
Exactly, right.
I thought he was going to do it to like,
Yeah.
he'll be back.
Yeah.
He's not
Come
coming
on,
back.
he's-
There's only one episode left. He's not
Right.
come back yet.
So
Exactly.
you guys don't
Right.
like it because Elle died.
Yes.
No, I don't like it because it just ends.
Ended like that. It's the way
It just ends.
he
It
died.
just
Yeah.
like, there's no like, you know, it could all happen all over again.
Yeah.
But they don't finish it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I get you now.
And what's to say, like, in 20 years or so, there's another Kira again.
Exactly.
Whatnot. And just go all over again. It didn't close it for me.
Didn't proper close it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was more annoyed about Elle going.
Right.
But then again, that other kid
Yeah.
kind of wins me over a little bit. But it's like
liked,
the
yeah,
fact that
yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
go into spoiler territory. Look, you need to. It's something you need to.
Yeah, you
watch.
Dave, I think
I'll
you'll like
forget.
this. It's really.
But I
really,
think
really
it's
cool
it's
show.
the fact that
Yeah.
Elle
Like, Yagami's a piece of shit.
Yes.
is a piece of work.
He's little G. He reckons he's too good for his own.
Definitely. But he's
Sorry,
smart
little
as
G,
well.
for listening.
He's
Yeah.
still smart as well. He's
Little G
quite-
ain't.
No, I mean, like
Yagami
he's
is, yeah.
quite.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
basically, it's just again two guys just one step of one's three steps ahead. Another guy has to like get.
Yeah.
4 steps ahead of him, sort of. It's really like
One-upmanship.
what's the
Basically,
word?
it's
What's
like.
that? Oh, there's a-
Do you know what it's like a book? Well, the Death Note, and if you write the person's name on it, and that person dies, so I can write.
no,
you know,
that's gonna put him
something.
off.
No,
Why does that
but
put me off?
That's what someone told me.
7 days.
Because you tell people that, and they're like, oh, what?
Exactly. See, because I remember you told me that because Gal.
But you
got
have
me
to
into
know
the
their
show, and-
face, their name, and you have to write cause of death. If not,
Absolutely.
they just die of a
So
heart attack.
there's more to it. Exactly. So as you're watching, I think even after episode 2, mate, it just gets
It's
you so great.
clever.
It's what got me into
So you can
anime.
write the mode of
Serious.
death.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can
the
predict
method of
how they
death.
die. Or if
You're
you
meant to
don't-
write how they die, but if not, they'll just die of a heart
I was
attack.
going to
Yeah.
say how many. If that was real life, people would be put. I'm gonna screw
But obviously,
you
there's
up.
a school kid who comes to acquire it, and then he obviously is like justice. He starts killing all the like bad people,
Yeah.
and the FBI get wind of this. He's trying killing a lot of people, and then this one guy, a detective called L, comes in. He's like the world master. He's like a kid as well. And it's just like
how he doesn't have diabetes, I don't know. From all the sweets that he's
I love that
shit.
bit. I always tell people like he's just like
Oh, do you think off topic? Do you think Light is gay?
I suspected that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
he has Misa and does nothing with her, mate. What is the matter with this guy?
Exactly.
He's totally little G. He's gay, dude. He's gay.
I don't know, but he did have a girlfriend though, didn't he? I swear he did.
No, he had a high school girlfriend, which comes back. And he tries to win her over because he's trying. It's not for a relationship. It's just for the whole Kira thing, isn't it?
Could be. Yeah, good. I suspected it, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's totally gay.
But I'm annoyed that you put that there. Mentioned this, but it's fine.
I was waiting for it.
No, I get what he's saying because the more you watch into it, Light Yagami is always one step ahead, and then this one little fuck up, it's just odd how he would have missed that out, and I think that's where he's coming into that. But then for me, that didn't bother me as much. It was just the fact, like I said, there was no closure. There's nothing to say. This could happen again all in a year's time or something. The book could just drop again, but I like and go to someone else and start all over again.
Because it's done now. So there's a thing. They haven't continued it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Whereas someone else would have got hold of it. Let's do season 2. Let's do. I'm glad it stopped.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know so in that aspect, it's good.
Until Netflix does the next film.
Don't watch the film. Apparently there is an older film.
There is, yeah. It's got the guy from Battle Royale in it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm in the middle of watching it as well. So yeah,
don't
watch the American film, guys. It's
rubbish.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
But the anime, yes, it's definitely good. Yeah, regardless of what people say about the ending, please watch it. Yeah.
So going to the last question before we do our top fives. Have you ever gone back to a series where you were disappointed with the ending, trying to give it another go, and thought, do you know what? Second time around, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, that's on my list. Damn it!
Oh, well, save it then. Save
it for them.
If it's on the list, save it.
Okay, it's actually a really good one, and I'm glad I watched it again. Kind of thing.
Altered Carbon.
Oh, how was that?
Do you know what? I can't really talk about it much because I haven't seen season 2. So
again, I watched the season 1 and liked what it was going for.
Has so much potential.
Yeah, and then season 2, I started watching it and sort of like or something else came.
But see, I felt that with,
and then I went back to it and I still sort of.
I felt like this exactly the same on season 1, but I stuck with it. I thought, you know what, I invested. Let me go with it, but I just didn't bother with number 2. So
I think its theme is amazing, the whole Blade Runner-esque sort of looking world, but
it was just not enough.
Just wasn't. There was something about it that just can't. It didn't grip me to keep on watching. Like I said, I stuck with season 1 to see where it would go, but when season 2 came along, it's just like I don't think I want to go through it again. You know.
And another one, Sons of Anarchy. For me.
Good thing Nash isn't on the episode.
A lot of people like it, and it just isn't for me. I've got no criticisms of it particularly. I just found myself because I think. I came to it late, and there's like 6 or however many series, 7 series ahead. Yeah. I started watching it, and then you get tired, and then I keep going back to it.
It is long-winded. I gotta give you that.
Yeah.
But so you watched it, and
no, I've watched some of it, and I couldn't tell you where I got up to, but I've always sort of got.
So you'd go back to Altered Carbon and see if it was good or not.
I would go back to it. Yeah.
I would say the same about Lost in Space. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
I gave up after season 1. Just that family pissed. Every episode, that family just brought my piss to a boil.
I want someone to say...
Absolutely aggravated me.
Was it because it's really happy family?
No, because the mum and dad, for example, halfway through the season, they get information... that they've got so many days to leave this place or otherwise everyone's going to die. The planet's going to explode or something. Yeah. They don't tell anyone. They keep it to themselves. How fucking tell them,
That's so true.
If the more people you know, the more they can help you out, get shit done, and get the fuck out of there. Where's the Robinsons? We're going to keep it to ourselves and do it all ourselves.
We're the Robinsons. We have a family motto.
Exactly. Plus, they changed some of the characters for diversity reasons and stuff like that, which wasn't necessary and whatnot. To me, it just aggravated me. Again, the look of it was really good, but there was some stuff in that I just know.
I stopped after 4 episode. I think the season 4's coming. I'm still waiting for someone to go actually watch it. It's actually pretty good because I love the film, The Lost in Space.
From the
98 film.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I love that whole concept. And I was expecting more of that. This was more about the family, and I was like, no, this is not what I wanted. I wanted more about them actually lost, trying to figure shit out. Not.
So you're going to go back and watch it?
No, I'm waiting for someone to tell me, oh, it's really good. You should go and watch it.
Right, but the question is, what series would you go back to try again?
Something
actually, that then Lost in Space. I might give it a try. Just hope it might.
But you no. So the question. Let me do the question again. So you watched the series.
Oh, okay.
You've seen the ending and hated it. Would you go back and watch it again and think maybe different?
No.
There's no seasons you go back to. No. Okay.
Yeah, there's again.
Oh yeah, you said yours was in your top 5, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dave, I'm happy you mentioned Sons of Anarchy though. Might have to say it later, but
that's why I'm a bit taken back as well.
Nash likes Sons of Anarchy, does he?
Dude, he loves it so much.
I've seen it like 5 times.
Like isn't the word. This dude friggin' lives for it.
Yeah. He's got the cuts. He's got the.
Has he?
No, has he?
He's got it. But then he sent it back. Apparently, if you the actual riders in the UK, if they see you wear one of those cuts, they'll come after you. So he had to send it back.
He got scared.
Yeah.
He goes, wow, is that
What a loser.
And if his missus went around, he'd get that shit tattooed on him as well.
Honestly.
And this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Us lot was online on GTA, right? We've got all our characters, kind of looks like us.
Do you know
brown
about this?
hair, black hair. And
you showed me the picture.
Rolls up in a motorbike. Just like
Sam Crow.
And it was just like Jack. What was his name?
Jax.
And the cuts, blonde hair. And I'm like, why are you guy white? You're Asian. Why are you trying to be white?
It's like we've come out of this like club. We're about to do this like mission, right? And he's like, it's got nothing to do with bikers or anything. And he's just waiting on his bike. And you see on the top, he's like sweaty Jane.
Yeah. If he had a second life, that's what he'd be, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can hear faintly the background like R&B going on.
How come we always end up bashing him?
It's the truth. I'm telling the truth.
He's Nasher the Basher.
Got DMX.
So until he comes back on the show, we just keep drilling him.
That's the whole point.
What, bully him back onto coming on?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not going to work.
Absolutely bully that bastard back. Might actually come back then.
Yeah.
So before we do the top 5s, ride into this world.
Motorbikes.
All alone.
Guys, do you have any questions you want to throw in before we do the top 5s?
I'm trying to think.
Think of any without spoiling your top 5s?
Anna, have we got time to ask a really quick question around the group?
Sure.
Is there any show that you wish they redid the ending? Is that
yeah?
My number one.
All right, okay.
I'm praying for it. I'm praying for number one.
Yeah.
My
number
number
one.
I'd probably be.
Actually,
yeah.
all my top 5s really. I wish they do change.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Definitely not.
That's my question.
Yeah, if this, yeah,
definitely.
I agree. That's good.
Right, do the top 5s then.
It's time for a top 5.
And obviously we're going to talk about the endings, so let's do a spoiler warning as well for everyone.
Spoiler warning.
So guys, obviously we're going to do the top 5s. We're going to mention endings to shows. If you haven't seen it, this is your warning, your spoiler warning. Do not carry on listening until obviously the next episode. We don't talk about spoilers. So let's do our number 5s.
Number 5.
Who would like to go first? I can start if you want because mine's very short.
Yeah. All right.
So my number 5 is kind of a cheat to it. And I mentioned it on the previous episode, so I'll go very quickly into it. Mine is Krypton. It's a show that I absolutely friggin' loved. It was 2 seasons of it, left on a cliffhanger, and then obviously Sci-Fi decided to cancel it. We still don't know the reason why or as to how it will never come back, but that's why I kind of hated it, because we're never going to find out what's going to happen in the end, and I was just so aggravated by it.
No way.
It's
so
like,
you just had no idea.
I probably would have loved the ending if there was going to be a season 3, but they've just left it completely open, and I'm so aggravated that I hate that ending now.
No, it's done now.
So
it's not really an ending though, is it? That's the thing. Because there's a TV series I've got that did exactly the same thing, and I'll bring it
on
up
your top 5.
No, I'll bring it up in honourable mentions.
All right, we'll do the honourable mentions.
Because again, it didn't have an ending; it was just slashed. They stopped
I hate
it.
when they do that.
So, and how would you want it to end, Krypton?
Well, the thing is that they knew they were going to get cancelled, but they still didn't end it.
Okay.
So I remember watching that last episode. I think it was on a night shift or something, and it got to there's a part where obviously the timer goes down and it's like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How are they going to end it in 2 minutes? 38 seconds. What's going on? They still haven't ended it. And then obviously got to the end. I'm like, I bet there'll be a spin-off. There'll be like another hour episode just to like finish it off. Yeah. No, we just
no way.
I feel like it's one of those ones where I completely wasted my time with it.
I hate that.
And it was a shame because season 1 is freaking phenomenal. I even got you onto it as well, and you're not very super. You're not much into Superman stuff as well, but you were like really into it as well, Big Gal. And did you ever see season 2 in the end?
No.
You don't need to now, so don't worry about
it. You told me they can't after you watched it. That's when you said I need to check it on it, and then it got cancelled, and I was like,
yeah.
I've done
at least you carried on with season 1.
Yeah, I've done season 1's amazing.
Yeah, but there was too much left, so I can't really say how I wanted it ended because
so the thing is there's so much scope. The way they done it was like it was gonna branch out and do like a lot of things, and then I just don't understand why just studios start something and then just say, oh yeah, that's it. It doesn't make sense. It's like
that's a Superman show as well.
Yeah, I mean the budget was getting bigger, and you can tell with season 2 where they were going to go with it. It was going to get bigger for the third season, and I don't know why, because the fan base was getting bigger towards the end of season 2. And I think they were just like, I don't know, I think maybe it's a case that we can't afford it.
Yeah, probably.
Where are you going to go with it?
The story's sick. Have you seen it? No, basically, someone comes back from the future and it goes back to where, I think before Superman is born.
Yeah, so it's basically...
tried to save Sarah Connor. I think I've seen it.
No. That's what sounds like.
Yeah, so Adam Strange comes back from the past. Technically the future, comes back to visit Superman's granddad. And he's like a young man at the time, and he's like, look, do you know the story of Brainiac, the superhero villain?
No.
So basically he's a alien/robot, very high AI intelligence, and what he does, he collects things like cities and planets and whatnot sort of thing. So this character comes back from the future and says to Superman's granddad, look, your city has to die, your city and people will have to be collected, die, be simulated, whatnot, in order for your grandson to become this superhero that will save millions in the future. So he has to have this question, what do I do? Do I sacrifice my planet and its people for this one person to save other people that won't be saving my people?
Yeah.
And he flat out says, no, it's not going to happen. No. So all these other enemies come back. So like General Zod comes into it, Doomsday comes into it, which is the being that kills Superman in the future and stuff like that. Okay. And it just went, oh my God, it was just, it was a Superman's wet dream of a show.
Yeah.
And when it, like I said, left on that cliffhanger, it was just, no, that's it. So you're stuck with that forever now.
This is not part of the story. There's one thing they had in there, and one I think I remember saying it's just like a couple. They can select how their children look like.
Whoa,
it's weird, but I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I want him to have a look like that. That's some sort of freaky thing they had, some sort of technology that can, decide how their child looks like.
Wow,
that was weird.
It's like The Sims.
Let's put it in.
Without the little triangle on top.
Yeah.
That's my number 5. Anyone who'd like to go next?
Awesome.
I'll go next.
Go for it.
So my number 5 is Hannibal.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
So
another show that was technically cancelled, wasn't it?
I don't know how, but the reason it's on my list is because I really enjoyed the first 2 series.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely fantastic. Go and watch them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to recommend it. And then the third series, it's not that it's bad or the acting's bad. It's just it's suffered where do we go from it? So the first sort of series, this is before Hannibal's been outed. And it's
Mads Mikkelsen as well.
It's Mads Mikkelsen, and he is fantastic.
It's not related to the film, is it? No.
Kind of. It's like a
prequel.
So
okay.
It's loosely, I would say, but it's not like a direct.
Without spoiling it, you should watch it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. And one of the reasons I like it so much is that it's so artfully done. The sound on it, again, I like a good sort of soundtrack along with it is really good. And the acting, it's got Lawrence Fishburne in it as well. He's fantastic.
Whoa,
it's a really good, and it's sort of, the idea is Hannibal is still a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know what the difference is. And Lawrence Fishburne's character is FBI or something. He's hunting serial killers. And then you've got the main character, whose name is escaping me right now, and I should have remembered, but I'm on the spot now.
Doesn't he suffer with visions and stuff?
Well, his sort of thing is he's borderline got disorder himself, personality disorder, whatever, because he can literally put himself in the mind of the killer. So the whole thing is he's being used by Jack, who is the FBI or whatever, to hunt all these different serial killers, and they are some freaking good serial killers.
Yeah.
So each episode is them trying to track down a different person, and we get there's so much trash on TV where it's like, oh yeah, here's another serial killer who's going to go and shoot someone. This is
what I was about to ask. There's shows out there. They're like,
yeah, but this one's a good one because the killers in it are far out, man.
Because some series do it like they're trying to catch the killer by the end of the season. Some do it every episode, but I don't like the every episode one because sometimes it's.
But watch this one,
yeah,
right? Cool. Because there's the overarching story. Because Hannibal is sort of acting as it's Will Graham is the main character, and Hannibal is sort of working
Edward Norton's
as
character in Red Dragon.
Yeah, so Hannibal is sort of working as his psychologist, so he's helping to try and keep him sane, because the worry is from all the psychology, the other people in it, because it's got what's her name in it, Gillian from the X-Files,
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson is in it
too
as another psychologist,
who
in the past has been Hannibal's psychologist, and they're trying to keep Will on the level because they're worried
that he's going to go.
If you push him too much into being in the mind of a serial killer, he's just going to flip,
and that's what happens, I guess.
Well, so he's finding all these separate serial killers, and some of them are, they're just how they came up with them. There's a guy who's sort of made a totem pole of corpses on a beach, and it's and that's one of them. There's one every episode, and it's so good. But the whole running thing that you know is going to happen because you know who Hannibal is, and there's a sort of this running theme, and Will is sort of questioning himself. He's starting to lose sections of his memory, and you're thinking, it's not him. You can pretty much sort of work out where, and it's And Hannibal is playing a very fucking manipulative game, isn't he? He is manipulating Will the whole way through, basically to try and get him to be the patsy, because all these serial killers have been killing in different ways. So the first episode is the Minnesota Shrike, and he's impaled these women on stag horns and left them out.
I remember that being a big thing in the show, the whole stag thing.
Well, it is, yeah, because Will is being manipulated psychologically, and his mental state is being made more and more fragile by Hannibal deliberately. He is so subliminally and psychologically manipulating him. He's causing the time lapses, and then he is going out and killing other people, disguised as the killers they're hunting, but taking their organs to eat and cook. And there's some fantastic high cuisine scenes where he's cutting and making these food, and that, and he's inviting all his friends around to dinner, and there's these big dinner scene, and giving them people, and Mads Mikkelsen in that is so good.
I remember Laura Fishburne's character. He sort of is investigating Hannibal's murders, isn't he, or something? In that show.
Well, they know that there is another person who is disguising their kills.
That's right.
As these other killers.
Yeah.
And the worry that Lawrence Fishburne's character has, Jack, is that he's pushing Will too hard, and that he's doing this. And Eddie Izzard pops up in it.
That's right.
Point.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
and he plays a good character again. Eddie Izzard. It's watch it. It's so fantastic.
Eddie Izzard's in it.
Yeah, but he is so serious and so good. And the whole thing.
Isn't he like a cellmate or something?
Well, no, he's a killer again.
That's right. Yeah,
he's a killer who is So he is. He again tries to claim that he is this second killer, and obviously Hannibal doesn't like someone stealing his thunder, and he is a vicious bastard. And so this whole series, you are thinking it's going to push towards the point where Will is going to crack, and it's going to break him, and and Hannibal's going to throw him under the bus. So that's season 1. Fantastic. Watch it. Go and watch it if you haven't watched it. It's so stylishly shot as well, and so much work has gone into it. The second series is great again, because it opens with Hannibal and Jack, the sort of FBI guy, having that moment where, and it's fantastic because Jack's gone round to his for dinner, and Hannibal's cooking up his usual fancy food, and you just see he pulls out a kitchen knife. and he looks in the reflection of the knife blade and sees Jack behind him and realises that he knows.
Oh, nice.
So, and then it ends with a massive fight in the kitchen, and it's a brutal fight.
Absolutely.
Fantastic choreography and fantastic fight. And it ends, and you're like, oh shit, has he killed him? And then the second series goes right back. And then you know that's coming at the end. That's the last episode.
Oh, wow.
So it teases it right at the beginning of the second series.
That's brilliant.
Wow.
So Hannibal getting unmasked.
No spoilers from here on down.
No, and then it goes, and you think
It's not really a spoiler though.
it's
That's
not because
because
it
it's
happens at the beginning,
Yeah,
and you're
right.
like, oh my
Yeah.
god, has he killed Jack? Who's you really sort of get to like him, and then so again, 2 fantastic series. Third series, it's not bad, but it's just Hannibal.
as good as
you know,
the
it's
other
not
one.
as good.
It's very slow, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
What happened? Do you
slow.
reckon they ran out of budget?
Well, no, it's just a case of where'd you go after the whole hook and the tension is when are they going to find out Hannibal? When is it going to come to that?
So the
When are
hook
they
was
going to
like,
unravel his massive deception?
right.
I don't know the reason why it got cancelled, but I do remember there had been a massive fan base for it that they tried to get Amazon or Netflix to do another season of it because I think they've done that with something like Lucifer. I think that was a show that was on Amazon, but Netflix are finishing it for them now. I think the first 3 seasons are on Amazon, but season 4 and 5 is on Netflix. So I think they're going to try and do that with Hannibal.
But it's a
That's
fantastic series.
It is, yeah.
Fantastic. And
Wow.
watch the first 2
I'm quite
series, but
surprised.
I'm
just
sold.
don't hold out for the third series because it suffers. It's not acting. It's there's still some good killings in it and stuff, but it's that problem of everyone knows Hannibal's Hannibal,
Yeah.
and they're hunting him effectively. So
It's like that show,
Yeah.
The Sinner. Do you
Yeah.
remember? The first 2
Yeah.
seasons were good, but then season 3 was like, meh.
I was going to mention it
because they obviously didn't want to stray into the territory of Silence of the Lambs, where he's been locked up.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So
Okay.
you kind of got
I
that.
see.
You're in that sort of grey area where nothing really interesting is.
You're like a Goku because,
Yeah.
like in Lost, where you have the guy that goes previously on Lost.
Yeah, it has that.
And Hannibal, it has a Scottish guy
Previously.
going previously on Hannibal,
Previously on Hannibal.
previously on Hannibal.
Bastard.
He says it really quick.
No, it's so cool.
Me and my friend used to laugh at that. He was like previously on Hannibal.
Watch it. It's
That's a
just,
damn good pick. Yeah,
I was going to
I
say,
completely
you,
forgot
you,
about that.
you think
That's on the
freaking
list.
serial killers. There's one guy who's a musician, and he rips this guy's head back, cuts his throat, rips his head back, and then starts playing his vocal cords like a big cello.
Shitty.
I am not kidding, and that is not the worst. Go and watch it.
On the list. 100%, mate.
I like
Five.
that. Yeah.
I think it
That's
was
my
on
five.
Netflix. I'm not sure if it's
Yeah,
still
I
there.
think I saw it on Netflix or Prime.
It comes and goes on there anyway.
I think it was on
Yeah.
Prime. I think it was on
Okay,
Prime.
on Prime.
Nice pick, sir.
Nice.
Big
Right.
G, number
Mine
5.
has been mentioned earlier for your questions, and I believe Dave has said it.
Demon Slayer.
don't. It's Sons of Anarchy.
That's my number
It's
2.
You were disappointed with the ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was.
I'm intrigued now.
What's his mum name? Gemma.
Gemma.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
infuriated the fuck out of me.
MILF.
Yeah.
She is the reason
Yeah, I
why
know.
everything happens
I
in
know.
that show.
Exactly.
But she just.
And I'm going back to the
Yeah.
the movie sequels we talk about, all because of a woman.
But there was
It's
never,
Anakin and Padme all over again.
like spoilers. Like obviously we've mentioned it anyway, but I was like not in any death scene. That was the one death scene where I thought, yes. Yes, thank fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank fuck. I've never celebrated a death scene like that.
I know,
was so,
yeah.
oh man, because she was,
It was getting to a point where she was getting so
just
annoying.
like annoying
It was
as
just like,
fuck.
I
Not annoying,
absolutely-
like Ant said,
Yeah.
she was the reason for everything from beginning to get go.
Yeah.
And this is not about her. The last episode is where basically Jax, he's got obviously shitload of problems, and he solves it. And one of the main reasons how he solves it is he kills himself.
Yeah.
For me, like when I watched it, essentially I watched it in one go at work, at work and whatever. I watched it within like 4 weeks, I think. It's like a lot. Like, it's like what you said. Is
7 seasons in 4
Yeah,
weeks.
I smashed
Fucking
it.
hell,
I
bro.
smashed it out.
Well, he doesn't. He's got a lot of time to watch.
At that time, I didn't have no children.
This is
Not
okay.
like
Yeah,
that, see?
fair enough. Yeah.
But it is long winded, like how you mentioned. I
I can see you watching it whilst you're driving. No, there were some good moments in that show.
No,
though.
that's
It's
what I'm saying.
just, yeah.
There was
Yeah,
I think it's the ending of season 1 where they and that soundtrack. I love that soundtrack. What's it? Oh, how does it go? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Somebody listening to this is going to be going, "Come on, I'm singing it to you."
There's one band in Fiji is
the king is gone. Well, it's not. I can't remember.
So,
I've got it on my soundtrack.
The king is dead, long live the queen, or something like that.
It's not the beginning of his singing career, is it?
No, I hope not.
Yeah,
you heard it here first on M.T.V.B.
It's got like epic bits in it, and you know, like the writer who's in the actual show as well. He's
a guy in prison, isn't he?
Yeah, some really good scenes and storytelling.
Cool he was the guy,
but
in
it
prison,
is long-winded. Like I think 3rd or 4th season when the son gets kidnapped, I thought that was a bit long-winded.
Oh yeah,
do you know what though? I thought it was a show I would never get into.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Goku was trying to get me into it ages ago.
I was like, please watch this show. I'm the only one in the world that I know of who's watching this show.
So hang on, you won't watch fantasy stuff, but you'll watch bikers.
Yeah, but it's real.
I don't know.
Because it's real.
Because it's real. It's almost believable.
But the reason why I don't like the ending is I feel like it was a bit like a cop out.
Oh, you like to talk about the ending?
We've done spoilers. Yeah, we've done spoilers
of this thing, man.
So it's your number 2.
It's my number 2.
Oh, go on. Yeah. I'll let you carry on. Go
okay.
on.
I don't know.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
You're not going to watch it, though, are you?
I know.
No, Dave. Maybe somewhere down the line.
No. Good. I'm only saying it as like I thought the ending was a cop out because he kind of just trying to there's this woman like throughout this film, like throughout the series, where he sees her like collecting trash or something, and she tells him on the last episode or last season.
This is season 1, isn't it?
You see her.
You see her
and then
throughout.
She goes,
she's
it's time, and you're
like,
like, what? Okay, and then obviously then you find out it was like maybe Death telling him, it's time for you to go, sort of thing, and he gets on killing himself. I was like, no, you could have done.
Wasn't it something to do with like he died the same way his dad did or something?
Yeah, that as well. Yeah,
that's right.
From what I remember, I can't quite remember that. It's been a while.
His dad's theory was like, spend time with your kids and stuff. Well, he goes and kills himself. Who's going to raise? I know he set him up with Nero and that other girl to look after his little ones before he dies.
To look after Abe, isn't it?
That goes against what your father has, told you, sort of thing. So I didn't. That's why I thought, that's.
I tell you who I felt sorry for in that show. That was Juice.
Yeah,
that guy. I felt so sorry for. I
don't like his. I like.
It's like Nash trying to get in a grave.
Nash in the gangster film.
Nash is Juice in that show.
The thing is, his arc was good, and then all of a sudden, it just went sour for him. And like Ant said, I feel sorry for him. But I just didn't like how. I just feel like when Jax died, I felt like.
Was it something you think you're a bit hyped up for, and you expected something better out of it?
I thought because he always gets them out. He gets the MC out somehow.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, he's gonna do something. He's gonna But I don't see him killing him.
Okay, cool. This is your number 2, so why is it there?
Exactly. Like this was the one that I almost had it as my number 1. Like right up there.
I'm surprised, dude.
Absolutely, because I religiously watched it, like to the point, like. Dave, you don't know about this, but I do this weird thing where if I like a show, I watch it once a week. It's like
he's got so
badly. Oh yeah, so if you ever listen to season 1, he has a schedule.
What? You gotta break it, no matter what.
It's so sad.
It's probably something like
cooking show on Tuesday, Sons of Anarchy Wednesday.
So this is
Lost on Thursday.
Show up at the podcast.
So I break his day off. Wake up at 9 o'clock, go for a shit, then watch this, and then go. Buy some food. Do shopping, come back, watch this.
I nearly choked my drink then. So it's like, watch EastEnders, go for a shit.
He's literally like that. I'm not.
Do you really schedule your shits?
It's nice to be regular.
Fucking pharmacist, man.
No, you know why? Yeah, because like when a brand new game, because I know him, he's like one of my oldest friends, and when a brand new game comes out, I'm there all over it. I'm like all night. I will clock it within like a week. This guy's like,
this man has kids as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I go to tell him.
See you later.
Or did he?
I go to tell him, have you got to this bit? He goes, no, go, shh. Don't tell me. I've only played 2 hours. I'm going to play next Friday on my day off. And I'm like, what? You just come out. Then I've completed it already.
I know. Scheduled, man.
Scheduled.
But it's like with that.
It's like John. He savours it.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's it.
But that's annoying to be friends with, isn't it?
Yeah, because
then you want to talk to it, and he's like,
and then it'll be like 3 months later. Oh my god, ending to that game. Oh my god. Sorry,
what game?
I'm playing this game.
Yeah, Dave. Resident Evil 8. He still hasn't played it.
Come on, man.
I might get it as a father's gift.
As if.
hey, I'm working on it.
I love that. It's like,
I love it. He's been
Sorry, Goku, you were saying we keep interrupting.
Yeah, you know, with Sons of Anarchy, yeah, it's weird. So watching that, and then it came towards, you know, because it's 7 seasons, it's epic, and it's building. It's like wow, and you're getting to know the characters. It's like all of a sudden they're your own family. You know, every biker in the family and everything. You know, Juice, you know, Jax, everyone, right? And then all of a sudden, and it kind of like it's coming to an end, and you can feel it. And then finally it happens, and it's like, you know, like it's just not the way you wanted it to end. You know, it's like you think there's so many.
You expected better. You expected better from those characters.
Absolutely, yeah. To be more like, you know, like it should have ended like even with that cliffhanger, and even if some hope of there being another season, just in a, you know, just the way it ended, it just disappointed me. And I think I spoke to a lot of people, and they said the same thing. You know,
I think if it ended with Jack kind of not dying and kind of, you know, because he always comes up with a plan, and he always solves the MC's problem. And
exactly.
Then when he just dies, like, oh, whoa, so that's your way of, you know, just
that's
solving
it.
things. Well, it kind of does solve everything,
but
like
a cop out. Yeah,
you know, I don't want you to die, sort of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, because you actually kind of saved the gang.
Yeah.
You know, you saved everything. You saved a lot of people, and it's like even though he's
does
a bad
he
guy,
go and
just,
grab hold of some electric?
Save us later. Save me from my girlfriend. No, it's just like he's got some music. He got like 20 cops chasing him, and he's like in front on his motorbike.
Yeah,
and you can see this truck,
and he
coming.
puts his hands out like Jesus Christ.
And you don't see the crash; you just see the blood.
He does though, doesn't he?
I think you see
his hands out like that,
and you see a crow as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of good because that's one of the first scenes you see in Sons of Anarchy when it starts off with the crow, you know, eating on like some bit of roadkill and it flies off and stuff.
Very poetic.
I
quite like that.
Yeah, it was quite.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You like
okay.
that?
No, but I'm just saying, I quite like it when you have that sort of that
kind of
circle,
the circle,
or little stylistic things that throw back.
Surprised you remembered that in the schedule. But my hat's off to you, sir. I don't know how you could do that. But
oh man,
I suppose if you don't work nights, you do it.
I've broken a schedule. I'm watching this thing on Netflix. Well, just quickly, there's a thing called Sweet Tooth.
Is this an
I'm watching
exclusive?
that.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm watching that every day. So yeah, but I've broken my schedule. So
you don't watch fantasy, but you watch Sweet Tooth.
It's fantasy, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. You've broken your schedule and your type of
It's
shows.
going to have to redo the diary pages now.
Damn it. Go back to Wednesday, god damn it.
Good pick there, Go.
No worries.
Go, cool. What's your number 5? That was your number 2. What's your number 5?
Right, number 5. It's a show I know none of you have watched. In fact, it's me and every other housewife that's watched this show. And you're probably thinking, why have I watched this show? It's not Desperate Housewives. It's a show. It's a show.
Sex and the City. Is it? No.
He's like, oh shit, I've got to change it now.
Thank God, my number 3. It's a new show that's come out on Apple Plus. It's a really, really good psychological thriller on Apple Plus. It's an Israeli show called Losing Alice. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
That's my number 2.
Shut up. You haven't seen this. I know you haven't seen it. Okay. I'm the only one who's watched this from the group. I know this because it's weird. Like the only reason I have this Apple Plus is because I bought an iPad and they give it for free or whatever. So it's just there and I wanted to test how good the 4K looks on my 4K TV. Sure. So I was just like, let me just watch this show. And I watched it and I was like, whoa, I'm really liking this episode. And it's about this movie director from Israel. And so it's quite interesting, but her husband is an actor, but she's a director. So there's this really weird looking, like this weird actress who comes onto the train, and she's really, if you look at her face, she's got this really like villain look about her, like it's amazing. And it's really interesting. And she kind of slips in this, like, you know, the what's that thing called, what's that thing with all oh my god, I forgot.
You're gonna have to give us a bit more.
I was gonna say,
waving your hands in the air and saying, "What's that thing?" You know that thing.
What's that thing called? The script.
You're waving your hand like you're pushing money out.
Script.
The script. That's it. Yeah, the script for a movie that she's come up with, and then she reads it, and then this director's just in tears. She's like, "This is the most beautiful movie I've ever read." And then it has like snippets of the movie that takes place in a hotel scene, and there's a crime scene.
So hang on. So she comes on the train, and then she just doesn't say anything, just gives her the script.
Well, she does talk a bit. She kind of weaves her way in. It's in like, kind of like that psychological kind of, you know, kind of manipulative kind of way. And then the story goes that as the show goes on, she's the director, and somehow her husband gets cast into this movie. And one of the major scenes in this movie is that this husband has a sex scene with this psychedelic girl. So it's kind of like breaking this marriage apart. But it's kind of like, it's a weird thing because it's like, you know, you're the director of this movie, but your other half is having sex on screen. So, you know, do I risk my relationship, or do I continue with it and end up winning an Oscar movie because it's a great script? There's so much. I was watching this and I was like, "Oh, this is getting really interesting. This is me, Go Housewives." And you know, I was like, "Why am I watching this? Okay, I need to see how this finishes." And it got to the end, right? And then the last scene, for fuck's sake, I thought they're gonna have like this death match, you know, like whatever, Israeli style. You know, Uzis and shit.
Krav Maga.
Exactly. Nothing like that. And it was just those two in a room and they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's just be friends. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? And then I'm going on Google and I'm like, please renew this. And they're like, no, it's done. You know, we're not renewing this for season 2. They became friends. They just said, okay, we're adults now. Let's just forget about it. The movie became a success and all this and all that. She's broken up with her husband, right? During the whole process. Their marriage is in tatters because of this.
But they're friends.
But now they're friends. And I was like, okay, I don't know.
Jesus Christ, it was just a movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Stevie, after 8 episodes, I'm just like...
I'm sure my missus would be on with it.
The fuck she would.
Yeah, right. Bang. Yeah. Get slapped, mate.
So are you going to make his missus listen to this?
She would hurt lock of that woman's car.
Oh, geez.
Can you make his missus listen to this?
No.
Yeah, please.
We don't translate it into Sri Lankan, so he gets away with it.
Oh, we can sort that out.
I was going to say there's Nash, there's Big J.
Yeah.
I'm sure Goku will do it as well.
Yeah.
And just sit there and not do it for her. So bad.
Oh, this is the good bit. This is where he talks about you.
That's intriguing. I mean, I get where it was going because again, it's testing about people's relationship and whatnot. But
it's like your job
to go nowhere with that. It's just
it really pissed me off because I generally
that's Apple for you. So
exactly, I totally agree. I hate that. Exactly. I was like, why did it end so happy? It shouldn't have ended happy. Yeah, it should have. You know.
Well, there goes the Apple sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, this podcast has only just gone on Apple as well. We're probably going to lose that now. Fuck's sake. But no, I assume that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
so how many seasons? Just one season.
Just the one. Yeah, they ended it after that. But yeah,
where could you go with that though?
Yeah, I mean,
where could you go?
Maybe,
unless the woman, the mysterious woman, have another script, and then he has to have a threesome. But you're just mates now, so it doesn't matter.
I'm thinking maybe that their culture's probably strict. Maybe like
surprisingly not. Well, that's what I thought. I was like, this is the first time we're looking into like how Israelis live their life. Woohoo! But
don't they have like 3 wives or something?
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe they were like.
That's why. Apparently,
hey, I've watched Idiot Abroad. I've seen that shit.
Yeah, it's actually normal. They're kind of like modern day Israelis.
So what was the issue?
Their life is kind of like ours. Like, you know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, if it's for a movie, it's not like he's like.
No, it's not like.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're director, so why don't you direct it so
because it's a sex scene. It's not like a porno. It's not like he's going to like come on her for a money shot in an Israeli film or something. So I don't see what the issue is.
Why were you watching this? Yeah. I'm joking.
That changed his schedule. Yeah. That broke the lifetime schedule.
That broke his Pornhub schedule.
And that show was scheduled every Friday as well, so I couldn't help it. See, I had to watch that every Friday.
You gave it a go, and
yeah.
Do you reckon stuck with it? Could it be one of those ones I mentioned earlier where you go back and now you know what the ending's like? You reckon you might have a different perspective of it?
Yeah, I might just watch it again because apparently it's one of those shows where they've got Easter eggs throughout it. That if you watch it again, you're like, oh, that relates to that episode and stuff like that. It's one of those shows. So,
and the sex scene is on the page script of page 69 of the script.
Page 69 just happens to be on 69. It's all.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Yeah, 69.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's a
amazing.
But he just finished his summary there with 69.
Yeah, 69. Let's move to number 4.
Number 4.
So my number 4 is kind of controversial because it's one of those endings where people love it, people hate it, and it's off a very, very popular show that was at the time, and it's The Sopranos.
Oh,
has anyone seen Sopranos or the ending to it?
Black.
I've never seen it, but I've heard about the ending being rubbish or something like that.
It's not necessarily rubbish. It's one of those endings. I guess you can determine how it ends, but the big thing about it was they were meant to do this series. It has that ending, and then they were going to finish it with a film, weren't they? Apparently, a Tony Soprano film.
Okay,
and obviously they'd never done it. The reason why I didn't like it, because I just think it's you go through 5 seasons of this, and they're long episodes without adverts. It's over an hour, and you know we watched it. It's okay. I mean, I can see why people recommend it, but it's not. I wouldn't be like, oh, you guys have to watch it, sort of thing. But I think it's just one of those shows where everyone talked about it at the time, and everyone had to watch it as well. Yeah. And then when the ending happened, I kind of felt just really. It probably was actually my first unsatisfied ending, personally. If you don't know what the ending is, I'll tell you very quickly. So basically, Tony Soprano's in, it's like a diner or something, isn't it? With his family.
It's in a restaurant or something.
That's a restaurant.
The whole film's gangster-esque.
It's all gangster-esque. So, you know, he's drugs, mafia, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He's there with his kids. There's some sort of happy song playing in the background. Someone walks into the restaurant and Tony looks up to see who it is and then cuts like that. So it could be like anyone to like, hey, Tony, how are you? Or it could be someone that's going there to essentially shoot the shit out of him. Yeah. We never know, and we never will know. But again, I guess it's up to you how you want to end it. So in a way, it's kind of good ending, but to me, it just...
Is that how people die in the show, though?
No. People get brutally, murdered in this show.
Yeah,
like big time.
Mafia style.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, you know, Tony Soprano's strangling people in broad daylight and shit and whatnot. But... just the way it was cut, I think it was just going back to my question earlier. It's just where I was like, all right, pop the next episode on. And Lou's like, there isn't any. What? You know?
It's like it's over.
It was just like, you know, we're out of episodes because we had the big box set at the time. That's just the time when we could actually binge watch, you know, no kids, whatnot. Yeah. We were just like, you know, just put the next DVD on. That's how old it is, DVD. And it just... it's just odd how...
That's weird because I thought that would have been like something they'd done throughout the end of a season where like someone comes in and someone's gets shot, and if you do it just randomly like that, that's just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, if I was heavily invested in it more, I mean, I watched it again. I wasn't too high strong on the characters and whatnot. I mean, we started it, we finished it.
So you watched it because you.
Because it was recommended. So like when someone recommends something to me, especially when it's a long ass show like that, I expect something from it. So we watched it and, you know, stuff to happen and whatnot. But then there was a couple of weird episodes when it's all about Tony's dream or something. Again, spoiler alert, he gets shot in season 3 or something. So for that whole season, he's in a coma. And we have to go through so many episodes of him having a dream and shit. And it's just like, it's so odd. And then...
but it was a big thing, wasn't it?
It was a massive thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like you couldn't go like working at Blockbusters. Everyone was renting the box sets at the time and whatnot. So there's no way you can get past this. So I think it's just one of those shows where it's like, do you know what? Let's just watch it, see what the hype is about. There were 2 shows, which was that and The Wire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now The Wire is fucking fantastic. I put that over Sopranos any day.
I'm so glad you said that because I've been recommended to watch.
Yeah. I mean, season 2's not all that, but. Out of 5 seasons, it's really good. Really, really good. Yeah. And it ends well as well, The Wire. So, I think it was just a downer where I was just like, okay. I mean, like I said, some people can decide how they want it, but for me, is no.
Yeah, because no. The Sopranos, like so many people, even if it's one of those things, isn't it? It became like a cult, like The Sopranos. You know what people are talking about when you say Sopranos. You usually, you think, Sicilian, American family, mafia, that kind of thing. So it's like a slow burn, wasn't it, Ant?
It is very slow.
Slow burn.
I just, it's just, again, I was just sitting there thinking, I don't see what the hype is about, but continue watching it, and I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. There's some good, it has its moments where it's good, but I just don't see the hype in it. That and The Wire, and we didn't watch The Wire till like 2 years after Sopranos.
Right.
So
The Wire's better.
It's way better. Way better.
What's the genre? The thriller or
what's The Wire? It's kind of like a cop show. It's all to do with drugs and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't know if they can get away with nowadays because when they sell drugs, they go pandemic right here, and obviously you can't do that nowadays, can you? But no, I recommend The Wire. I mean, Sopranos is good. Just I don't think it's.
Yeah, I've heard of it. It never piqued my interest.
It's a bit dated now because it's very early 2000s, isn't it? And just a bit,
I started watching actually, like season 1. I love the theme tune to that.
Yeah, the theme tune's fucking awesome,
Absolutely
dude.
Amazing.
Yeah,
the beginning scene is.
That is one of those songs you can strut to work with. Be like,
absolutely. Yeah, gonna get myself.
That's it. Yeah. That's such a wicked tune. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, that's my number 4. Dave, your number 4, sir.
My number 4, I'm going to throw it in there, even though it might not technically is follow this sort of format, but it's a TV series called American Gods.
That was on Prime, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I've heard of it.
it's Goku's not going to like it because it's
Is it fantasy?
It's not fantasy.
Has it got dragons?
No, but the concept is like that gods are beings.
Ooh, okay.
So you've got all the old gods. So from Egypt, Rome, the Viking gods, things like that. And they all migrated over to America when, the sort of Europeans and Spanish and English and all that and French went over. And they brought their old gods with them. So you've got a lot of the African gods have come over with the slaves and things like that. And it's an interesting, because it all sort of revolves around this, because to survive and to not dwindle into nothing,
When you say gods, as in gods?
Yes,
like actual gods?
Yeah. What's the Hindu destroyer? Is it Shiva?
Shiva.
So she's come across. You've got
with people, so they're traveling.
So so humans, normal people, have come across, and when they first settled in America, the Vikings came across. They brought Odin and Thor with them, and they continued worshipping. But then those religions started to die out.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole concept is they need belief to survive. If no one is believing in them, then they cease to exist. Interesting concept to me, and I really, and again, it's another stylistically shot one in the first few series. And then you've got this clash because you've got new gods emerging. So new gods like media, new gods like technology, because they're not worshipped in the old sense of worship, but everyone has a phone. Everyone spends hours of their day glued to the phone in a kind of worship. So you've got these new gods arising, and then you've got Ian McShane is playing a character called Mr. Wednesday, who you don't know which god he is to start with, and he's tailing this guy around called Shadow Moon, and again, you don't know who he is, and it's this, and they're sort of basically trying to rally the old gods to fight against the new gods. So you've also, the big bad is called, I think, Mr. World, and he's like the conspiracy, because a lot of people believe in conspiracy theories. So he is the man, genius. He's the unknown man who controls everything. He is the guy the Illuminati, the lizard person. He's all that conspiracy, spy satellites watching you kind of thing. And you've got the old gods trying to stay relevant and fight the new gods. A lot of the old gods... there's not battles as such. But it's leading up to this sort of thing. And you've got some of the old gods have decided to reinvent themselves as to fit into the new world. You've got there's a god of the forge. I can't remember his name. Vulcan, I think, an old god from Greece or Rome or something. Yeah. And he used to be worshipped at the forge and the fire and creation and destruction and that.
That's from Greece.
When he's come across to the UK to the USA and people stopped worshipping, he's then become he's reinvented himself as an arms dealer. Because the Americans love their guns, and they worship, and that's that right. So he's getting that belief and feeding through that. It's a really good series for me. It's a bit out there for the first two. The third series, I haven't even watched it. So
but going back to the question we said, would you go back and finish it?
I will. Yeah. Just because I have to. But the third series...
How did you decide you're not going to watch the third
because it suffers from a lot of things. I haven't looked into it too much because I kind of got fed up and just was like, right, I'm unplugging from it kind of thing. But it feels like it's lost either a writers or directors. There was something's happened because a lot of the characters they were quite big in the first two series and quite important. There's a guy called Mr. Nancy who's like an African god that's come across with the slaves who were brought over to America, and he's very he's fighting for the sort of
civil rights,
the black man, to protect the sort of black man and things like that. And he's very feisty and he's quite an important character. Season 3 at the beginning, he's just not there and
disappears.
And then there's the Jinn, who is a genie from sort of, I'm not sure where that originates, but he's come across and he's big in it. And again, he's been written out of it. There's just so many. It feels like somebody else has come in and just taken it over, and they've sort of.
Oh, that's a shame.
Mr. Wednesday suddenly goes from being this enigmatic, chaotic.
Is it based on a book
yes,
or comic book? I can't remember.
No, it's a book by I think Neil Gaiman.
So, do you reckon they've done it because they've realised?
So I'm going
to be able to do all this?
I don't know. I think I'm going to read the book.
Yeah, okay. I've heard it's not very same as the book.
Well, no, but I'm not enjoying the TV series. So I'm gonna
The book will always be when it's
But it's like it feels like it's disjointed.
That's annoying because the way you explained it to me, I thought, oh man, this sounds
the first two series are really good. Really enjoyed it. There's this whole thing about who is Shadow Moon. He's got his wife who was killed, and she was come back as almost like a zombie because she accidentally has this leprechaun's coin.
Oh.
Have you seen Orange is the New Black? So there's a guy in that called Pornstash. And he plays the leprechaun really well. He's this drunken Irish, fighter who's just sort of come across and ended up like cast adrift in America, like a lot of people do. And
so he's just hooked on.
And he calls her dead wife because she's got his coin, and he's got to follow her around because it's his. It's the Sun Horde. It's the leprechaun's pot of gold. It's from the Sun Horde, and he can't. It's his lucky coin, so he's lost his power because it's keeping this. Shadow Moon's
Orange is the New Black's about prison, right?
Yes, yeah. It's just the same. It's just the same actor, and he's come across from being a prison guard in that. And I much prefer him in Amazon in the American Gods.
Yeah.
But it's like I say, if you do go and watch it, enjoy the first two series, but don't hold out much for the third because it just feels broken, disjointed. And that's why it's on my list, number 4.
Oh,
it's a good choice, sir.
Good choice. Yeah. Wow.
Over to me, I guess.
Maybe come back for season 3, or read the book before season 3.
I'm going to read the book.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I might come back and give it another shot with some time.
Fair enough.
Number 4, sir.
My number 4. So I was actually contemplating to put this before or after, Sons of Anarchy, but it's still in the same area. But again, as a show, it's amazing. It's brilliant. I thought genius at times, but the ending, it's just like how Jax dies, how Mr. Heisenberg dies at the end of Breaking Bad. I couldn't accept.
So Breaking Bad's number 4 then.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad.
See what I did there? Dancing around it, wasn't he?
Trying to keep them guessing. But yeah, again, overall the show.
Number 3.
Oh man,
you keep ruining them for him, man.
Dude, seriously,
this is great. We can talk about this.
The last two I mentioned, this is like his favourite show.
Yeah, but now he's missing out on 2, 3 because of you.
Sorry, dude. we could go. I'll let you go first.
No, go for it. I want to hear you. I want to know why. Yeah. That's interesting.
So,
you hate. So you don't like the ending?
Yeah.
Or?
I don't like the ending because when that actually happened, I like the bit where he has the machine comes out and he destroys all those.
So everyone's seen Breaking Bad, right? And
yes,
okay.
I loved all that. Yeah. But I didn't want him to die. I thought from the beginning. I thought, okay, he's gonna go and make his money, and he's gonna die through cancer. I didn't see him get killed or shot or whatever.
Yeah,
That's the only way this guy has to go.
Absolutely,
and him dying by that, that's not the ending I wanted.
It was annoying, right?
Yeah, and Skylar's fit, by the way, but off topic.
Skylar,
MILF chubby.
No, she's fucking annoying.
She really is.
I absolutely hate that character. She is a bitch, and she's a bitch to him as well.
Absolutely,
big time.
She is.
And she always comes crawling back to him as well.
Yeah.
She even has an affair behind his back as well in that show.
Yeah, with Ted Beneke.
Absolute bitch, mate.
Yeah.
The son plays a really good. Like I know he's the thing, but he plays a good.
Yeah, he's
like
good.
The way he acts.
He's great, mate. Yeah.
But anyway, off topic. I think overall, I think how he's turned. If you go, I know it's not about the whole show, but if you look at it in the beginning of the show, where he gets still dealt a shitty card, isn't it? He's a professor, he's a loser, and then he finds out he's got cancer.
Yeah,
and he manages to turn it all around, and then he kind of lose sight of. I don't think he did. I think he has all right to go all out. Man's got cancer. If I had cancer, I'll go all out and do my best to. I wouldn't,
do what he did.
Do what he did, but I'll try my best. Leave something behind for my kids, right?
Absolutely.
And I think I think his missus, Skylar, where he just called a bitch. I think he should.
You don't think she is?
No, I think he should appreciate that. I know, as a moral thing, you shouldn't, you shouldn't do stuff like that. But if I was a missus, but thanks, man. That's good of you. You're
well done.
doing this because you're gonna die, sort of thing. That's a bit. I know you're not. You know, I'm just saying. She should be more appreciated. But it's not about that. I'm talking about the ending. I still think he should have won out. Dying.
I should be appreciated that my wife has an affair behind my back.
No, not wife.
Skylar.
No, I'm saying as if I was Skylar, I should be appreciate my husband.
Oh right, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's
sorry,
right,
yeah. Sorry,
absolutely.
But yeah, so I just couldn't accept that ending. I think, as you know, I like the way he saves Pinkman.
Yeah,
it's Pinkman,
Jesse.
And he sets
Jesse.
up how he has all that money and he loses that as well.
Yeah,
I think he has he saves he gets back a barrel of all the money that he made, and that's
those blue barrels. Yeah.
That's just pointless, and then he speaks to those billionaires, threatens them that you better give this to my son doing whatever.
Yep.
And then he dies in the meth shed or
in
whatever.
the meth lab where the magic happens.
I think it could have been better the way he should have won. I think he would have sorted everything out, his kids and whatever, and then he just dies in the hospital or something. Because he was quite clever, man. I think he deserved a better ending.
So he would still die, just.
Yeah, because he
suffer from cancer instead of being shot.
I think that's the ending I thought. I thought he was going to make everything sorted and then go out how he's meant to, with cancer.
Finish on a kind of happy ending? Well, not.
It's not going to be happy. You know from the start he's got cancer. He's going to die.
He's going to,
he's going to die. But
at least he goes out quick.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what it was, Dave. It went out quick, and for me, I think at the time I just expected loads more explosions. This is it. These AMC's made huge amount of money from this. Just make it into a fucking end of a Michael Bay movie or something. Just go crazy.
But do you remember the first TV show episode we did?
Yeah,
season 5 wasn't ever meant to happen.
No,
season 4 ended it, and then Netflix got on board with it. So I can understand how they kind of rushed it out and. Because I think they did it in 2 parts. Season 5 was actually done. It was
in 2
6 episodes each or something, wasn't it?
That weird time where a lot of American TV series were split into 2.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah, was it writers?
But here's a question for you two, because this is your pick. Do you think the series ends it or the movie ends it?
Ah, okay. El Camino. You haven't seen El Camino?
No, I don't.
Do you know this is
it's pointless, but
okay.
Well, you should watch it.
You should watch it. You should watch it, Gal. Yeah, because. And I think I watched El Camino on the weekend it came out.
Yeah, same.
And I treated it like it was a premiere. I couldn't wait for it, and I did like the ending.
It's more closure for Jesse's side.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so happy because I love Jesse, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was just
you kind of feel sorry for him though, isn't it?
The Jesse side, I mean, I do like the character, but I think it went too long about the whole girlfriend dying palaver. It was so long-winded and kept coming on. I was like, all right, come on, mate. It's now 3 seasons ago. Get over it already. Do you know what I don't mean to sound harsh on that, but it's been dragged out.
Exactly. Like in the world of TV shows, you should have just moved on and, not...
What did you think of their relationship between him and Heisenberg? Do you think...
But that's what I'm saying. It kept breaking...
But they're both
breaking bad. It kept breaking bad, really, didn't it? I mean, how did you
had some sort of mutual both of them still backed each other up.
Yeah, they had a weird.
I know at times he was getting beaten the shit up by Heisenberg, but
I just don't think it was as connected as people make out to be. The first couple of seasons, they've got a bond together, but then, like I said, when the girlfriend pops up, they kind of they're separate ways. Yeah. Like one point. Heisenberg can stop whatever he wants to do. He can just live out his life and, he's got his money. He's done what he wanted to do. He can provide for his family when he dies. But then the power thing gets the best of him and he goes back to it, doesn't it?
I think,
and that's where Jesse's still I still don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it just to get me out of shit.
Do you reckon if he didn't have cancer, he would have stopped? Maybe the cancer fueled him, doesn't it?
Because doesn't the cancer clear?
I'm sure it doesn't.
It depends how serious it is, depending on what stage there is. What for him, you mean?
Yeah, because I swear...
Are we going into...
I thought we were talking into actual... No, I think he went into remission, right. So it cleared.
Yeah.
There was a moment when he was at a doctor's office, which was like, you're in remission, it's kind of clear and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I swear it does.
He was with Skylar, and they were both like, oh shit, okay, well things are all right now.
You're gonna live. I'm sure. He says
I think
he's going to die sort of thing.
That's the thing, but I'm not sure.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm thinking maybe it came back.
I can't remember. It might come back for the last season just to kill off the character.
Yeah, because I think he coughs in his blood or something like that. And he's like, shit, it comes back.
He coughs really bad and stuff.
That's right. Then he realizes that's
Oh yeah, the bell guy.
That is brilliant. Yeah. One of the best characters TV shows. Yeah.
But no, what was his name? The guy.
I was going to say, you know when you meant...
Was it Gus? It's not Gus.
Gus is the chicken guy.
Chicken guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the best characters in that. Gus was,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I kind of like the Hitman dude. And Soul. Soul was pretty good.
Oh, Soul in it. Oh,
Soul.
is
Have you seen Better Call Saul, the series?
No.
It's really good, dude.
Is it good?
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite shows.
It's
man.
really
I think
good.
I'm watching
It's
that.
underrated. Yeah, it's definitely
so
worth
good. Yeah,
Is it ended or is it ongoing?
It's one more
It's
season.
before.
I mean,
Yeah,
as
that's
in, is it
cool.
finished? As in,
One more season left.
One more season left.
One more
I
season
might give
left.
it a
Yeah,
go.
they started filming because I'm following it, so I love it. Yeah,
It's in the schedule.
it's in the schedule.
Oh hell yeah, that's getting blocked out. Yeah, that is-
Friday afternoon.
That's why you don't.
But no, you should watch El Camino just to
Yeah.
have Jesse's side
I think
to it done.
'cause-
It answers the question because there were so many rumors that Walter White hadn't died,
yeah,
like he got shot, but he kind of come back, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's dead.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll give it a watch. I'm
Definitely.
definitely gonna watch Soul now.
you know,
But apart from
right?
yes, yeah.
yeah.
You need to watch it.
Really need to see
Yeah.
it. Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's good closure. It's not
Very-
the greatest of
But does
movies,
it-
but
Yeah.
it
Does
is a
it-
good closure to
Does it
the
do
character.
something where
Yeah.
oh my god, like shit? Can it continue or is it like
No. So it ends it. It ends it properly.
Yeah.
okay?
Because I'm so happy you mentioned that, because I was going to follow, like, if you didn't mention it, Gal, like if it came around to my round, I was going to say, but then El Camino came out and it kind of made it better in a sense, you know. But then I was still that feeling of disappointment when I watched it, you know, just being like, oh man,
Yeah, because you talk about the ending for Walter White's sake, like how he died.
yeah,
For me, Jesse just driving off crying wasn't justice for me.
no, you need
See,
to see
but
more
like-
of
And
that.
that's where El Camino came in and done it for me
You know.
much better.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't go into hyped with it because it's not that great of a movie.
movie, yeah.
But give it a go. If you really, you might change your opinion
Perspective,
of the ending to
Okay.
season 5. But
yeah.
I'll give it a go. Is it on Netflix
Yeah,
still?
it's on
Yeah.
Netflix, yeah.
Okay, that's 3 now. I got.
I'm sure Dave's got a couple more to throw at you.
I think you'll know these.
Oh, okay.
We get
So that
into
was
the
your
real hurt in
4.
the top three
That was
now.
your 3.
That
Sorry,
was
dude.
my 2. No, free. That was my 3.
So
Sorry,
what's your number 4, sir?
Okay, so my number 4.
Is it another Israeli
Housewife.
I'm literally going to
It's going to be Sex and City now.
Hello,
Hello, lover.
Just quickly, I was gonna say, you know, when you meant he's moaning about as soon as when his girl gets involved, and I was gonna say quickly, oh, another woman.
Yep, exactly.
Sorry, go.
Desperate. No, I'm joking. Not desperate.
Sex and
And
City.
I don't want. I don't want you to cry over this, and it's lost.
Oh, no, that's fine.
That's my number
Yeah?
3. That's my number 3.
That's fine.
How is it not my number 3? Come on.
Okay, wait,
That's fine.
hang on.
Okay.
Hang on, Ant. Are you happy with that ending?
Yeah, I am.
Favorite show of all
Yeah, I
time.
am. I'm 100% happy with it.
I'm in pain.
I'm happy with it, dude. What?
Yeah.
Like, it's
yeah.
confusing.
So
but-
no. So go cool. Your number 4. Why is it your number 4?
You know, okay. There's actually
You really like the show.
This is what I'm saying.
I love the show. Well, this is the thing. I absolutely loved it. When I thought about it, I was thinking it was the journey of watching that show and everything. That was amazing. But when it came to the end, right? Okay, hear me out. So Matthew Fox, right? When episode 1 aired, I remember randomly watching the news, and he was on the show on BBC Breakfast, and they interviewed him, and they asked him, and they literally told him, they said, "Oh, the ending. It's not like
They're all dead."
like
Yeah.
basically."
Yeah.
Then they asked him. They said, "Is it limbo?" And then he
Yeah.
said, "No, it's nothing like that." And I was like, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch this show.
Yeah.
I can't wait because that ending is going to be amazing. So if I didn't watch it, maybe I had a different opinion on it and stuff. And then you're watching it and it was an absolute journey, wasn't it? Just
Yeah.
right, guys? Like,
I mean,
I don't have to say anymore.
fantastic.
You know?
Thing is, though, people call that ending way back when season 1 happened.
Yeah.
So why was it such a big shock for you to not?
I know.
Because
Clock that.
Go on, Dave.
So this
Who's
was. I've got to weigh in on this one.
Yeah, he's gonna go in.
So this is.
Sorry, what number is this?
This is my number.
He's
3.
number
it?
3.
Number 3.
So
So we'll skip it next time.
so this is. This was one of those we were talking about, the event.
Yeah.
So my family were big into this.
Oh, no.
And we used to
Mate.
sit down and watch it
Yeah.
when it came on TV,
Yeah.
and we were so into it, and it was so good. Like the first,
Lost.
yeah. But the thing is, you're sitting there and you're going, "Oh, this is fantastic."
Yeah.
And you're racking up all of these mysteries
Yeah.
that keep getting added to, and you're thinking, "Well, the smoke monster." How did polar bear get on
the Desmond's time travel
thing? And you're racking up all of these, and you're thinking this is going to be a really super satisfying ending. And the reason, and you said, if you thought it was going to be, why is it a disappointment if they're in limbo? It's because I 100% remember somewhere around the third sort of series, there was an interview with the creator, and they were saying, because there was so much hype around Lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the director or the producer, whoever, I don't know the name, but kept on having interviews, all over the place, going, guys, everyone's guessed, and nobody's guessed the ending yet. Right? That was I 100% remember that, because I'm thinking, because I thought the same as you. Oh, I bet they're dead. I bet they died in the plane crash. Yeah. And then he was coming out and saying, no one's guessed it yet, guys.
Yeah,
it's going to be, and then you're thinking, man, this is going to be some convoluted. Is it? What? This is going to be a.
Didn't it have like
so explain the ending your way, and we'll explain it our way, because you're saying they're dead from day one, which isn't the case at all.
Well, no, but what I mean is it's limbo, isn't it? At the end,
yes, of course it is. Yeah.
So I stopped watching Lost, and then I went back and watched it, because by that point I'd moved out of the family house.
Too much. The family events disappeared,
and the family event disappeared, and I was a bit behind. I think I was at uni, and people are going, and they were like, "Oh, it's a bit of a letdown." The problem, and another big problem I had with that is that they kept sort of forgetting about things and not satisfactorily answering things early on. They just kept their format seemed to be pile on more mysteries.
It worked. I thought it was genius.
And don't forget, this was affected by the writer's strike halfway through as well.
Right,
they go back to everything and do explain it.
But some of it seems to be almost forgotten about, or it's like
I totally get that.
They have to sort of find an ending, so they just go for like a cop-out ending. You know, like it just felt to me like a massive, and my family all sort of felt the same. It just felt like a big letdown, you know, and I was hoping for something really clever, and at the end it was all, they're all dead, they're in that church, aren't they, at the end, or something? They're all sort of
so they've all lived their lives, but they met each other back again in the afterlife, sort of thing.
And John's gone back to the island and become head whatever, but it suffers from that thing again of, it's like, well, you've got the others, and then you've got Dharma, and it's they're a bit. I really, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the first 4 series, maybe.
Yeah.
The hatch. When that light flicked on at the end of Series 2 in the hatch, that
it very cleverly hyped everyone up.
Yeah, and
very cleverly.
For me, the reason is it just didn't deliver, and a big bit of it, and a big problem with it, was because so many people. Because when I say event, like as a family, we would discuss it.
Yeah,
you know, we'd be at dinner time and we'd be going, so what do you think? How do you think that polar bear ended up on the island?
Right?
How did you? And there are some fantastic moments, and like my brother Joseph is so observant, like it gets me. So at one point, when you know, there's sharks swim in the.
It's got the Dharma stamp on him.
Yes. So as a shark flashes past the camera,
you can see the Dharma.
There's a Dharma logo on a shark.
Yeah.
And that is never explained to me what that is.
They didn't explain that.
Well, isn't it to do with the projects that they had going on on the island?
But again, it's something that wasn't important enough to be made a big thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. But then again,
I need, if you're going to start throwing things in like that, I need a satisfying. I need you to tie up everything a bit better. Like, because it got too convoluted towards the end. I think if it had stopped and wrapped things up a lot earlier, then I'd have been a lot more satisfied.
Yeah, season 4 and 5 is a mind fuck. Yeah. Absolutely, because the time travel element comes into it or not, which I don't think it was necessary. But then again, that was the era when the writer strike came in, and they, like you said, they were throwing ideas in and just forgetting about certain things.
More and more on, and things that were so important at the beginning have sort of been supplanted by other stuff that's even more mysterious, and I just don't like that. It was a letdown for me.
Exactly.
So it suffers from what I like to think of in my mind as Pirates of the Caribbean syndrome, where the first movie you're told, the Black Pearl and what's his face is the captain, the skeleton captain. No, the bad guy, the skeleton captain. He's the big bad who's taken the ship. He's the
Jeffrey Rush's character.
Yes. He's like the big bad. And then that movie ends and it wraps it up nicely and they beat him. And then the next movie, he's not that bad. There's a bigger bad guy, Davy Jones. That gets wrapped up after season 3. And then there's another one in 4 that's even bigger and badder. And it's kind of it it takes down the importance of who's gone before. So, like, all these mysteries that were so important at the beginning of Lost, and you sat with your family and you went, what do you think it is? And then my brother goes, no, rewind that back. Because we had it, recorded. Rewind that back. Pause it. Yeah. Pause it. There's a Dharma logo on that shark. And you're like, no. What? It just swam past. And then you're like, no. Rewind it. Pause it. And then everyone's mind is just...
Do you remember the opening to season 3 at all?
What? Refresh me, because I will remember.
So season 3 is when we see the others in their camp, and they witness the plane crashing.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, this is getting so good. I mean, season 3 is good, but then when it gets to 4 and 5, I think that's where it kind of goes down. But I see your point. But
you know what? Yeah, we should sit down and watch it.
I would absolutely.
The problem is, like I say, it's just it's the fact that so many people were like, it's obviously they're going to be in limbo. It's going to be some sort of thing like that, and people are going, nobody's guessed it yet. Nobody's close.
I swear, like you can still interpret it differently. Like
it feels like in the early series they had no idea how they were going to end it.
No.
So when they're saying,
I remember people. I probably
they probably had maybe a few directions they wanted it to go.
Exactly,
but they weren't certain themselves. So they
and they hyped you up as to say, no, that's not the ending. Yeah, exactly. So saying they've done it. They designed it really well.
Absolutely. You know what's really annoying about that? What you just said, Dave, because that interview, right? That I was telling you about. Matthew Fox even said, "Oh yeah, I know the ending." You know, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's
that's just publicity. Come on, isn't it? It's just like there's.
But then if you're
I'll still never say,
I know the ending to this episode.
Exactly. Right.
Like you said, where the light comes on in the hatch. I still remember they discover another signal that's been going off for another 30 years, and you see that Frenchwoman. I think in season 2, like
just out of interest, how many people do you think played the lottery with those numbers?
Oh, everyone, man! Even I did it.
I bet that suddenly, if you'd have won, if those numbers had come up after those episodes,
do you remember what the numbers are?
No, but you would have.
You would have 108 in there somewhere.
Right. 2, 4, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Oh my god! Wow. Seriously?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you'd have won, if those numbers had come up. Yeah. Just after that episode, you probably have won about £2.50 because it'd have had to be shared amongst millions of people.
This is it.
But so
love it.
This is the point of this episode, right? Stuff that's really good that let you down.
Yeah, fair enough.
For me, it was really good, and I was so hooked, and it was an event.
So the last episode let you down?
No, the last few series, it got too convoluted. More stuff was getting piled on. There were bits I didn't care for. Like I say, the first series, fantastic. I loved it.
You know why it was like you said, like I think you hit it on the nail. Like they did that so well, that ingenious of oh my god, and it got people talking. I swear,
but that was the genius of every episode. You had it sussed out, and it would throw something at you right at the very end, and they'd done it brilliantly.
And it worked. It worked.
I swear, but then you need to either, if you're going to pour more stuff on top, you need to start answering some of the other, because otherwise you get people forgetting stuff. But I'd be sitting with my mum at the table, and you'd be at season 4 or whatever, and you'd be saying, "Yeah, but what about that from the beginning?"
Yeah, for example,
I keep bringing up the polar bear because that's the one that sticks in my mind. Because my mum's like, "What polar bear?" And I'm like, "No, go back, cast your mind back, the first series." But there was our polar bear.
You're true, because I don't think going back to the number thing, that's not answered till the second to last episode. So we are kept all the way through.
Yeah.
To the very,
the numbers were more significant.
No, not till the very the episode before the last is when we get answered what the numbers are.
They had to keep inputting the numbers to stop that magnetic thing under the
to see what would happen if they didn't do it.
Exactly, because the moment that Desmond didn't put the number in, that's what caused this huge magnetic thing that pulled the airplane down supposedly, and that's what caused the crash. And when I saw that, I was like, best thing in my life.
Yeah.
So again, this is the episode, guys, and G. This is the episode stuff that's really good, that really draws you. Because if it wasn't good, I'd have checked out on series 1.
I think I'm more disappointed in the fact that it's one of my all-time favorite TV shows of time, and
same as me.
This is the beauty. What some person likes, others don't.
And this is going back to
somebody out there going, Fast and Furious is the most highbrow intellectual TV movie series.
This is what the question was earlier on. Like, if you recommend something to someone but not sure about the ending, there'll be one there.
Definitely.
But what was the black guy's name who had the kid who had the special powers?
Oh, Michael.
Right, I could do a really good impression of him. You want to hear it?
Go on.
Because he says it about 50 times in season 1 and 2. my son, right out of my hands. What?
See, they did some characters really bad in that. I felt he was
what was like, I don't know what the point of that was.
But then I thought there was that priest, wasn't there? Ida or something. Who had the stick? Who was the religious guy, and he was just killed off after like one series. And I thought he was done bad.
Was he one of the others, or he was?
No. He was on the tail. He was a tail
because
he was like the
different party island.
He was the shredded guy who'd been like whacking others with clubs because they were fighting.
Yes,
they were fighting. The tail people had it much worse than the front, didn't they? They were fighting off the others.
Yeah,
a lot more. And he was like shredded, and he was a priest, wasn't he?
Just a quick question: everyone's favorite character?
Charlie.
Jack.
Charlie, mine. Yeah, I have to say Charlie.
Sawyer.
Do you know, it's between Charlie and Hurley. I was like,
I like Hurley,
I like the whole idea of
Hurley,
him.
actually,
Because like, this guy's won the lottery, and it's just this idea of money does not bring you happiness, and like that was his reason why people saying that these people found themselves on the island because maybe he found that on the island, maybe he didn't. I don't know. It was just,
I remember the interviews at the time, people saying, "What? Why? How come Hurley hasn't lost weight and he's been on this remote island?"
That was on everyone's mind, wasn't it? And then they find that huge amount of food in the
poor guy. The poor guy must have been like, "Oh, it's going to make me go on a diet." At some point, the director's going to come down and go, "Right,
you need to start losing shit."
Yeah, people.
See that treadmill over there? Get right. We need to watch it again, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, it'll be good.
I'd love to do that.
So that was your 4?
And my 3.
Your 4, your 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got
number
nothing.
3. Number 3. That was my number 3. Yeah.
No, that was
no, sorry.
No, that's your number 4 because he took your 3.
Number 4 because he took my 3. Yep.
So you got nothing left now.
What about? Yeah, no, he's got number 1.
Oh, okay.
He's got number 1, so he's still got number 1. Let's go to number 3 then.
Yeah, I still got
number 3.
So my number 3, Big Gal actually mentioned it earlier on, and I'm going to put it in there because it has 4 seasons, and season 3 and 4 were just terrible. So I'll come out and say it straight. It was 13 Reasons Why.
Oh, okay.
Now, I absolutely
how many series are there?
4 seasons of it.
Seriously?
Yeah, 4 seasons of
Wow.
it. I didn't actually realise till after season 1. I thought it was just some show that was written, but it turned out it was based on a book. So the book is pretty much season 1 full stop. But obviously it had such a massive impact on Netflix. They were like, well, we got to bring out a season 2 somehow. If you don't know the premise of the show, 13 Reasons Why is about a girl who committed suicide. And she, before she dies, she delivers a box to one of her ex-boyfriends called Clay. And it has 13 tapes inside it. Each tape represents a reason why she's killed herself. And that's what every episode is in the show. It's literally 13 episodes. And before the episode starts, you'll see a tape with the number written on it. It's this one, it's this person, it's this person. It had such a big impact on me because I was that kid that got super bullied at school. There used to be moments where my mum was terrified of me coming home from school because my face would just be bruised, battered, looked like I was built into a pulp at some point, and she was just literally frightened for my life at one point. So that's why this show had a big impact for me. Not long being a dad as well at the same time. I would never want my daughter to go through what this girl went through. And now that they have social media bullying as well now. If they had that back in my day when I was bullied, I probably would have taught myself as well, in honesty. So this show had such a massive, massive impact on me. I'd done a massive review of it on Facebook and highly recommended it to everyone. It was like,
an eye-opener, no?
Yeah, it was like, it was a massive eye-opener. And it was like something I gave it 6 out of 5 because I always do my ratings out of 5. And then we got to season 2, which was okay. It gave it a bit of closure. And then season 3 and 4 came on. It was just, why is this happening? This doesn't need to be. I mean, there's maybe one storyline they can make out of it, but you're dragging this on now and utilizing the whole bullying thing now. What the show had an impact on people. And now you're kind of we're dragging you along for the ride now. And it's not necessary at all. Just watch season 1 and 2. And yeah, it's just, I can't really go into it that much. I just say highly recommend it, watch it. It is a massive eye-opener. Like I said, I believe Netflix has cut it now, so you can't even watch the original ending to season 1. Because it is horrific. And I mean, absolutely. I remember I was watching on the night shift, and I was in that crew room, and I bawled my eyes out. I don't know how I even sat through it, because how she dies is horrific, and how they do it is so realistic that it would put people off killing themselves.
Wow.
Which is probably the point of it. But now they've cut that out now, so you kind of see it.
Wasn't there a big thing about some people complaining that it might, in a weird way, encourage?
Yes, exactly. Another reason why it got cut as well.
See, I don't understand how, though. Like, what was you going to watch it? I'm going to give you ideas of giving you comments. Like,
No. I think it's more. I mean, it's a very. I think you need powerful stuff, and in a way, it might hopefully help some people.
Exactly, that's what I think.
But
people
there are also people. It's a very deep subject that you can't really go into on a.
Absolutely, yeah. I can imagine really damaging people as well. Watching,
I think that
totally.
I think the problem was as well as it's about kids. So I think a lot of people were worried.
Imagine you're sitting down watching it with your 15-year-old daughter or son, and they're like, "Dad, that's happened to me," and you're like, "What?" They'll probably get them more talking than giving them ideas. I think.
I think it does. Yeah, it kind of.
I think it depends where your history and where you're coming from in a mentally and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Where your mind is at the time.
If you're feeling low and you watch something like that and it's hitting on everything that's happening to you, then maybe it's putting that idea in your head that it's a way out potentially. Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I heard about that and the whole thing, and I think also it happened during a time when there was like mass shootings happening a lot more frequent in America as well, wasn't
it?
Shootings.
And the thing is, the end of season 2 is when a situation like that happens, and again, it wasn't necessary,
it wasn't needed,
and it's such a shame because I really do love season 1 as much how horrific it is, whatnot isn't. Like I said, it's an eye opener. I think it's an eye opener for parents as well, in a way.
Yeah.
Like I think Dave was saying, I wouldn't let my 15-year-old kid watch it or anything, but it gives me that thing to like ask my daughters, how are you? Are you okay? How's your day? Sort of thing. It would encourage me more to do it.
When I watched it, I think. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I think the problem and where Ant's coming from is when I was a kid, the internet wasn't such a big thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Cyberbullying to me, I don't understand it. Because I've never lived that. If someone was bullying me, it was in the playground.
Yeah, it was more physical, wasn't it?
And
it was more real though.
It was but you can't say it's not real for people online.
Not real,
from where I come from, I can't understand it because in my brain, I would just say, if someone's getting at me, I'll just turn it off.
Yeah.
But that's not the lives of teenagers these days because they're so intrinsically wound up in their phone and social media. That's not something I understand. I can see what Ant's saying. It's quite good to bring that attention to parents, particularly because we've both got children who are going to grow up as
I turned it off. I think and Jay were like telling me to watch it, and I
was surprised with Jay. Really liking it as well.
He loved it, and every time the season came out, and it's out. But when I was trying my best to watch it, I just couldn't do it because obviously I've been bullied at school. But
of course,
and thinking back now, I think I'm more worried about my little ones growing up in being bullied. That's one of my biggest fears right now.
Absolutely.
But again, watching the series, I think just brought back memories of my old stuff. I couldn't do it. It's
I mean, like I said, season 1 and 2 is all about the bullying side of it. And it had closure to it. So technically you could finish on season 2 if you wanted to. But then season 3 and 4 goes into a murder mystery type thing now. It's like it completely changes the show.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I still watched it.
Do you think that detracts from the message or the impact of the first 2?
Yeah, because so they carry on with season 2 because the boy who rapes Hannah is the girl who dies, kind of gets away with it. So that's the whole point of season 2. He goes to court, whatnot, gets away with it, and then I think he gets murdered in season 3. So the whole point of season 3 and 4 is to figure out who killed him. But again, it's kind of, just like Dave says, it's completely changed what the whole point of the show was. Even though they still message out to say, look, if you need to reach out to anyone, if this has happened to you, blah, blah, blah. It gets a bit odd how all these high school kids are doing something that cops should be doing. It's, But yeah, that's my number 3. Like I said, it just hit me on a emotional level and kind of turned out really bad. And I was kind of gutted, really, to be honest.
No, totally understand that. Good choice.
That was heavy,
yeah. Sorry, that was your number 3's done, isn't it?
Yeah, that was lost.
And my number 3. Okay, it's very recent.
Here we go.
and told me about it. He told me before it even came out. He told me the beginning, the end, and the end, beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, he told me what happens. And I wasn't gonna watch it, and I told him I'm not gonna watch it. But then I found out one of my favorite UFC fighters in it. So I thought I'll give it a go. Well, Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
How weird was that? I was going to put that in there as well.
Wow.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think there's
Yes.
the Canadian UFC fighters in it. So I
You
found
actually watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it, and I was like,
Brilliant.
it was.
Let's deep dive into this.
You know what? Yeah, some of the action scenes are pretty good. Like
in
the
the
scenes
first
for him.
Episode 1 and 2 is good
Yeah.
action scenes. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought the last episode had a good fight scene with him. Where he throws it out the window. He throws the shield out.
Through the window.
And he jumps and catches it while he's fighting. I thought some of the scenes were good, and plus it had my UFC fight.
Not a super soldier. Doesn't count.
Right. Okay. Anyway,
He's just a man.
it was a decent show, but ending like it did.
So hang on, the shield gets thrown out the window.
So, yeah, so-
and he jumps out the window and catches it on the way
he
down.
fights a dude,
Yeah.
and I think he gets a call. Oh look, they're on the move again. So he throws it through he's on a skyscraper. He throws it, smashes through the window, and then he jumps through the window and he like flies out.
Gandalf did it better.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright.
Fly, you fool.
So yeah, the ending. I just like. I'm not gonna go into the whole like.
No, please, because that's why it's in your top 5.
Go on.
No, I'm not gonna.
No, come on, if you don't, because I will.
And it's not on his list.
Right. So the whole of so there's 6 episodes in total.
No, I'm gonna say
Okay.
they could have just done it with one episode. They could have just done the first
episode.
Like if the first episode and the 6th episode, and that's it.
Have you seen all day?
No,
Because
no.
All right. Do you want to know? Are you going to watch
go
it?
for it.
No.
That's okay. We
Go on,
got permission.
Go on.
No, so my beef is like, you knew what the outcome was going to be regardless.
Yeah,
That's my downside to it. It's like 6 episodes, technically 5, of Sam going, oh, I don't want to be Captain America, me. And then obviously you're going to know by episode 6 he's going to be... I called it, didn't I?
Yeah,
when
you
episode 1
called
came
it,
out,
yeah.
and it was weekly. And then it's just like... I mean, I loved the whole Winter Soldier side of it, because Winter Soldier has
A good,
a really bad past. He's killed people for the sake
I
of
felt
being
sorry for
mind
him
controlled
again.
by Hydra.
Right.
So he kind of spends what he does nowadays is going back to people, like say he killed someone's dad or whatever, and he goes back and tells his son, look, I did it, I'm sorry. He's trying to seek redemption, if you will. And I kind of like that, how because he doesn't want to be evil anymore. He wants
Because
to
he
be...
tells the guy at the end as well,
Yeah.
the Chinese dude. That
But
he's
just Sam's character. I mean, let's get past that. The rest of the show was meh.
It was
meh.
man. Like it's just like why didn't you just take the mantle in the beginning? I just don't get it. Like, Captain America gives you the shield. He's accepted that you're worthy, and he's like, no, I don't want to be Captain
Right,
America.
so you want to find out why he becomes Captain America
this
in the
is
end?
good.
Right. So anyway,
No,
turns
but
out...
I think I have a theory why they've done it, but go on.
Right, so technically, the US government were going to... Because obviously Captain America's asleep at the time. He's in hibernation, cryostation, whatever. He's in the Antarctic sleeping at the moment. So the US government would be like, do you know what? We're just gonna give it to someone else who was a super soldier for our country, whatnot, rah rah rah. And they picked someone. Turns out it was a black guy. And during the 60s, that was a big no-no because of racism and whatnot, sort of thing. So they were like, oh, okay, we're not going to give it to him now. So I keep calling him Anthony Mackie. I don't call him his actual character's name. So Anthony Mackie finds out this guy's still alive, and he tells him that was what was going to happen. So Anthony Mackie he becomes Captain America for that reason. It's a statement. It's not because I want to be Captain America, because there was going to be a black Captain America. So screw it. I'm going to be one now. Okay. And that's what I feel is bad, because it's not a case of, you didn't want to have the shield. You didn't want to be part of anything to do with Captain America, but because one guy goes, I was going to be Captain America and I'm black, and he's just like, well, do you know what? I'm going to be Captain America for you, because you should have been it, so I'm going to be it for you. And that's where I just think that's wrong. For the character.
I agree.
For the character.
I think
and then when he puts a suit on, it doesn't suit him at all. He's got like freaking shoulder pads on. It's like,
he looks too puffy. He looks very
Yeah.
puffy and like too clothy.
If Anthony Mackie was just like, do you know what? halfway through, I want to be captain, but I just don't. I need that push to give it to me. I would have been cool with it, but I just think it's wrong to do it for that reason.
Yeah,
but it's not my top 5.
that was one of the reasons. But
Yeah.
like I said, like the one thing that really annoyed me, and you mentioned it as well. Like he later, the guy that got refused the Captain America, he helps. He puts like a statue for him in the museum. But throughout the whole thing, and even the episode before, was like throughout the episode, his sister is got running this boat business, and she's in desperate need for money.
She's declared bankruptcy, basically.
Okay.
And then the last episode,
too, I think.
Before the 5th episode, she's like, I'm making 10, and I'm making 5, but I need to make £10, like $8. So she's really struggling. This is the last of it. And at the end of the episode, they're having a party and everything, and he's made a metal statue for the.
Bought a metal statue for him
for the old guy
to go in the museum.
Go in the museum, but his sister's like in dire need of money.
She needs money.
They don't say anything about that at the end of the episode, but they're having a party near the boat and stuff. And I'm like, what? So that's nothing. So you're not going to help your sister out, but. Yeah, wow. That was one of mine. Right?
It was kind of cool they did that to put it in the Captain America Museum sort of thing. But it's just like, hang about, my sister needs money, but I'm going to give a guy a nice bronze statue and pay for it all.
But the speech in that was pretty good. Like I think the patriotic speech.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
Oh.
I mean,
I hope they modify the suit for future. Movies, shows, whatever.
I think it needs to be
that
more
suit
metallic.
I don't think it suited him well.
I think it needs to be more metallic. And anyway, one other thing I was going to say was crap. I forgot.
So the ending, you were disappointed by the ending.
Yeah, the last episode just like.
Right. Is it? You just knew the outcome.
Yeah,
you just knew the outcome of it.
Okay,
it was so obvious. It's like I could have written that shit myself.
I think, and like I said, he called it before it even came out. Right, this is what happens. Boom, boom, and exactly.
And I
wasn't going to watch it.
It's like the new Loki show. It's really good, but I called it.
Oh,
well, what have you called?
The whole time travel thing.
I saw the first episode of that.
We talked about it at work.
I'm joining. I'm on episode 2.
Yeah,
it came out Wednesday, didn't it?
It's really good. Check it out. It's really
the first episode is good. Well, with Owen Wilson. Oh, he's so funny. He's
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you watched it or you?
Yeah, I've just watched episode 2.
Wow. Princess Pee Pee.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I called it about the time travel thing.
Yeah, but you knew that though. Did we not? Yeah, we knew that.
No, you didn't know. You didn't know.
Well, we knew because
but I called it before the trailer.
Fair enough. You called it, but we did say like Loki was the one we were like waiting for out of all the 3, WandaVision and Falcon. So I'm quite.
Did you say MondoVision.
No. Do you see what they did at episode 2? The spoilers. They're very.
No, don't say anything because
I was a bit annoyed about that, but anyway. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Wait.
Wow. So that's you've done your number 3, haven't you?
Yes.
And we're on to number 2 then. I think we're number 2. Yes, we're number 2.
Number 2.
So I believe Dave has the same number as me on this one. So let's say it together. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Dexter.
Oh.
Okay, I've never seen
Dexter.
Dexter is a cracking show, but
yes.
God fucking damn, that ending is dire.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say this so many times on this list. Watch up to the last series and then just ignore the last series.
Yeah.
So, are you going to launch?
No, come on, you go for it.
Oh, it's your.
No, come on. We'll both do it. You do your bit.
That polite thing now. We're going to try and pass.
Surprise, motherfucker.
French fries, motherfucker.
That's from Dexter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's in Dexter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Dokes, isn't it? Sergeant Dokes.
That's it, yeah.
Surprise, motherfucker.
French fries.
So, explain to them what Dexter is, sir.
Dexter is a serial killer, but he's been trained by his policeman father he's got a compulsion to kill. He's broken. He doesn't experience human emotions. He is stereotypical broken serial killer psychopath. And his father took him under his wing. He was a cop called Harry, and he taught him. He understood that he's got this darkness inside him, this dark passenger. It's called that in the.
It's actually called that?
He calls it his dark passenger.
Sounds racist.
It's not racist. And you throw me off my game now.
Sorry, dark
passenger. And he realized his father or adoptive father realizes that he's got this compulsion that he can't avoid. So he's going to end up killing someone at some point. So he teaches him a code, and it's how to. And he tells him you have to get evidence. You have to only kill people who are killers themselves or bad people.
Bad people.
Oh, so what?
Cool.
He has a compulsion to kill. Did you say?
Yeah, he's not human. He's that he's that sort of emotionless. He can't form relationships. So in the beginning, in the first sort of series, he has a girlfriend, but he only has a girlfriend because that's what society that's a shield. So he doesn't really care for her. He is the perfect.
It's to sway people off.
Yeah, it's all part of his cover.
And who does he work for?
He works for Miami Metro Homicide Department. So he is a blood spatter analyst who helps Miami Metro sort of catch other killers. But he'll quite often divert them to someone else or confound the investigation so that he can then put him on his table, wrap the whole room up in cling film, and kill them.
That.
Yeah. And the opening credits for that.
You'll love this, you would. You should watch it.
It's really cool.
The opening credits are fantastic as well.
Yes, they are. The music's really good in that as well.
But it's all he's doing his morning routine, but it's filmed in such a way that everything is. It leads you to think murder. Okay. So he's straining with some rope, and it
ends up being dental floss.
No, he's tying his shoelaces. Okay. He's cutting. You see something cutting into flesh, and he's cutting an orange in half.
Okay, yeah, I see
stuff like that.
So it looks
he's just doing his morning thing, and it ends up with a ding at the end of it. As he walks out to start his day. So and cool. every series is sort of different. So there's a main villain. Mm-hmm. So I won't spoil it too much because I think you should all watch it. But there's So the first series is all revolving around this one serial killer called the Ice Truck Killer. And there's a very good sort of satisfying ending to that one, which I for once won't spoil. That's season 1.
Yeah, I like season 4's killer. Yeah, if you remember,
is he Trinity? Is that Trinity?
Can't remember. John Lithgow.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's Trinity.
Is it him? Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, the old guy who's got the family.
That's it.
Yeah,
yes, that's brilliant. That one.
So each series has a very compelling anti-hero that the Miami Homicide are trying to catch. And, quite often Dexter is trying to sabotage them so that he can have them on his table. Right. Because he always sort of confronts them with so he's got pictures of, the people that they killed. So the very first episode, he catches this guy who's killed kids, and he's got him all wrapped up in cling film in a basement, and he's got all these pictures of these poor kids that this guy massacred. He always goes, taps them on the forehead really violently while they're strapped down and says, "Look at what you did." Yeah, and then he slices their throat, and and throughout
dumps them in the ocean.
He cuts them up into pieces. Completely, because he's a blood spatter analyst, he gets away with it a lot of the time because he completely knows how to handle and get rid of trace evidence.
Yeah, interesting.
Apart from in season 2.
Yes.
But
that's where surprise motherfucker comes in.
Surprise motherfucker. Surprise motherfucker. But and throughout the series, he grows. Right?
Yes,
and
definitely.
I think this is probably going to be why it's such a letdown at the end for Ant as well as me, because you are in the shoes of this anti-hero, and you find yourself liking this anti-hero, and you want him. And throughout series, you see him effectively trying to grow into a person. So he starts off as this empty shell, this serial killer, with his mask of his fake wife and her kids that he's adopted. He's like the perfect dad because he plays the part. It's an act. There's no substance to it. And as the series creeps through, he's got an adopted sister who really relies on him for emotional support and everything, who he fails quite a lot in.
I want to ask you about that in a minute, but carry on, yeah.
And he is growing, and he's starting, so not too much of a spoiler, but he starts actually genuinely caring for this woman that he's going out with and the kids. And you are fully on board with this arc until the last series.
Is it the last series?
The last series. It's like they went, right, well, this is the natural end point of the arc. Let's just do something else.
Let's just see where we go with it.
Let's just completely trash everything that you've grown to like in this journey you've been on with the character and go back to square one.
Damn.
Well,
it's disappointment. He took her on a ride and then...
So what? They just
so it's all pointless, effectively, because all the characters...
We're trying not to ruin it for you because you should watch Dexter. Dexter is 7 seasons?
I not sure for certain, but it's
six or seven seasons, and give it a go, because especially you, Goku, I can see you really enjoy. I'm surprised you've not even got on board in this quite soon.
This was kind of on one of the lists, and I never got around to, because was it on Channel 5 at one point?
It was on TV.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
But I remember when
this was before Netflix and
no, this is it. Yeah, exactly. Because I think Sky had it at one point, like it was on FX or something. But then
it's on Netflix now.
But it comes and goes.
Originally,
it comes and goes.
A TV thing.
Okay.
But I want to go back to the stepsister for a second. Yeah. So they're not real brother and sister. They are step brother and sister. Okay. But she has a fantasy for him. Like she fancies him.
So and she's also a detective with Miami Homicide, and he is helping her. So in the first series, he basically manipulates it so that she is the one to sort of spot the ice truck killer's van, how he's been getting around, kind of thing. So he is sort of helping her in her career, and she relies on him a lot for things. But then they make it this weird sort of
so she
comes out of nowhere later on,
because they're married in real life. These two,
right? Oh, in real life.
In real life, they're married.
Interesting.
She starts to have dreams and fantasies, and starts to have a fancy with him. Like she never tells him, but then it never goes anywhere. It just like, we're gonna hype it up like these two are gonna get together.
But it's weird because they kind of grew up as brother and sister.
Yeah. Okay. And you think to yourself, this might actually work at one point, but then it just disappears, and that was like, well, what was the whole point of that?
Yeah.
But in my opinion,
the ending for her is she's done dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is one of the reasons, because you really care for her.
Yeah.
And there is a crux moment in either the second to last series with LaGuerta and her.
Yeah.
And she lays her cards on the table and puts herself in one camp. And I'm not going to spoil it for once. You guys need to go.
She's fit though, LaGuerta.
Oh man,
you get it.
So bam.
She gets
his sister. You can probably guess where it's going, but the sister has to a situation arises, and she has to go with one side. She has to put her all behind one side, and she makes a certain choice, and you're like, damn, that's going to have consequences. Yeah. This is serious. And then, like I say, the last series, everything just falls apart.
Yeah.
And
even the bad guy wasn't all that in
so
part 7.
I watched it all back quite recently.
Okay.
And you go up to the Doomsday Killer and then just finish it there. So, like I say, when you get to the series with the Doomsday Killer...
Is that the one with Tom Hanks's kid?
Yes, I think so. He's the sort of biblical...
That's it.
He's...
I couldn't remember if it was season before or that season.
The first murder of that season is they find this guy who's got his stomach stitched up, washed up on the Miami beach, and he turns up crime scene. And there's a really good character called Vince, the sort of Asian guy, sort of East Asian guy, and he's like he's absolute.
He's the guy with the glasses.
Yeah,
yes, and the Hawaiian t-shirts.
Yes, he's the other. He's a small bald guy, and he is. I love his character because he is filth at the beginning. He's just like, he makes these really off-color jokes that probably wouldn't get past it these days.
Exactly, yeah.
And all the characters that you really get to care about, because it's so well done in the first few series, and in the last series, everything gets slashed.
But now they're doing another episode. They are they fixing it?
I was hearing something about basically they want to end it differently.
They need to.
They need to, because this whole character development, you end up back at square one at the end.
So like, what's the
what was the point of that then? I don't understand why. What goes through their mind? Is it something like you said?
I think it's like Dave said. It's like I don't think they knew how to end it. I mean, I personally wouldn't even know where it was going to go unless he was going to get caught or something. Yeah. But
I think you needed you need some sort of validation for the fact that he becomes effectively a person with connections, deep connections to other people you care about. And you've got that tearing at places where then some characters get into difficulties or something happens to them, and he is experiencing human emotions for the first time. So for that to then be taken away, and him basically, it doesn't end up where he's like literally, it ends up in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, well, back to normal.
Yeah,
back
to the lumber.
Yeah. But go and watch it. And we'll
I say
revisit-
still watch it. I mean, I'd like to go back and watch the last season again and maybe change my mind, but I'm intrigued about this new...
Yes.
Is it a new episode
I'm
or a
not
new
sure.
series?
I haven't really heard much about it yet, to be honest. But
we know it's coming, don't we?
there is something coming, and from what I read around the subject quite early on, they want to try and reset the ending, so give it a bit more closure, because the problem with it is it needs proper closure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
give it a go. You both should give it a go.
It's on my list.
Do you remember what he does with the blood spots?
The splatters.
No.
He puts them in the little glass thing.
Oh, you mean in the beginning or at the
yeah,
end?
the little micro.
Yeah, he's got like the slides for the microscope.
Oh,
and
yeah,
every
yeah.
person he's murdered, he puts a little drop of their blood. So that's against the code.
Okay.
Everything he's been taught is a code that he lives by to avoid it, but he's got this one little...
It's like a box he
vice.
collects.
Okay.
With there, it's like, oh, this was the guy who killed women. This is
Yeah.
the guy
And
who
he
raped
knows-
guys, and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
And he's
Does
got
that come back to haunt him then?
Of course it
Yeah, of
does.
course.
Because
it's against the code.
It's against the code.
Leave no evidence behind.
But he's got a literal box full of unsolved murder cases that people just disappeared
Yeah.
in his air conditioning unit in his house.
Wow.
But
Okay.
there's so many moments in that are really good where it's like, oh my god, this person's going to catch him, or he's made a mistake and he's had to act, and it's so good. But then the last series is just such a letdown. Why you do that? Why do people do that? They work so hard, they put all their effort into it and making these characters and really drag you along for the ride, and then they just check out. Or maybe they get the intern to write the last series. It's like, oh, Timmy has been in for 6 series, he's doing quite well, we'll let him write the really...
The same guy who mucked up the camera work in Haunted Hill.
It's infuriating. It's annoying, man.
Yeah, that Timmy.
But you see, it must have been. It must have been so bad, like to the point. Well, it must have been because for
Watch
them
it and
to
you'll find
redo
out.
it
You
again.
will.
I really need to watch.
I mean, you'll probably watch it and go, do you know what, guys? I actually like that. Just to really piss us off. But yeah. But Dango picks a hang back.
Great.
Number
Did you
2,
have
sir.
anything you wanted to say? Sorry.
No. He's pretty much said it all. I've said my bit with and whatnot. So yeah.
That's my one. Let me just double check. Okay, my one is it's more of a comedy show.
Oh.
I'll call it a sitcom, I think.
Okay.
Sitcom.
And it's really good. I thought it was really clever at the time, and it's called How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I know of it because my wife loves that show,
Yeah,
but I've never watched it. I heard it. I heard.
I
bad
genuinely
things about it.
liked it. I think they did something clever in the show where like I'll talk about the ending, but
9 seasons though, just to find out who your mum is.
it is man, but
Jesus.
it is quite clever and quite funny. They do these things throughout the season. They'll probably show, I don't know, a goat in the bathtub or something, and you're like, what the hell was that? But they'll come back to it later and they'll explain it, and you know there'll be like a good sort of comedy side to it. And I didn't want to put it in the list, but it's annoying. It is annoying because I think Ted, I think, is the main character, and some cracking characters. Barney Stinson is pretty good in that, and Ted has, you know, obviously it's about him, how he finds, you know, telling his children how he met his mum, and throughout the seasons he goes in and out of relationships between other women, and with Robin as well, I think at one point. And it comes to the final season where it's Barney getting married to Robin, and I think that's when you see the mum the first time, who is, you know, hinted at under a yellow umbrella. And the first time you see her, and throughout the whole, you know, I think season 9, you see her and you grow to like her. You're like, oh, okay, this is brilliant. This is okay. You actually find out how she is. She's actually likable. She's a good character, and you find out that she dies.
Whoa.
So like, so the whole
All that for nothing.
Yeah. So you know the whole show is about how you tell her how I met your mum.
Yeah.
And then and at the end it's just about him actually getting together with Robin, who was getting married to Barney at the end. And I was just like, that's fucking stupid. It's proper letdown. It's
9 seasons is way too long for just that one subject. That's what I think. That's why.
The thing is, I didn't watch it and I didn't binge it. It was more of like when I was eating or breakfast or lunch or dinner, we'll pop it on
in the
with my brothers.
background.
Yeah, we just watch it while like that.
Sounds like you need a schedule.
Come to
Not
me.
like
I'll
it's
sort you out.
But, yeah, and I thought that was just like stupid. Like, you know, I've generally liked what's his name, Barney's character, and because throughout the whole series he's like a player. You know, there's so many jokes in the film and the series. It is quite funny, and he actually wants to settle down with Robin. Okay. And I thought, oh, this is good. You know, they're actually quite a good couple. They make together. And then later on you find out 30 years they've broken up, and then his kids are actually telling him, you know what, Dad, I think you should. This is not. It's more about you getting back with Auntie Robin, not about how you met your mom, our mum who died. I just thought
it's too much hype for just
It's one of those like shows where I stuck with it because I enjoyed it, and the ending just ruined the whole like I will never recommend it to anyone. I mean, it's funny, it's good. Like it's like long, but some of the episodes are cracking. It's so good, it's so funny, but the ending let it down.
I suppose if you're there for the sitcom side of it, then it's enjoyable. Yeah, but if you're waiting for that answer,
then it's not.
And you don't forget, if you've not got a box set, that's 9 years you've got to wait for that answer. Do you know what I'm saying? That's I probably would have
I mean, you're right. Like
I smash my PS4 controller or something. The whole Last of Us Part 2 all over again.
Because I quite generally like the mum he meets, and the character's brilliant. It's so good, and then
you find out, do meet the mum.
Because you find out how they meet and how they actually go out, and then
I think I've seen one episode, and that's the one where she hasn't seen Star Wars. They go mental over it. It's like she hasn't seen Star Wars.
It's good. It's sometimes hilarious, but that's me. That's my number 2.
Good pick.
Great.
So we're going to go to the number 1 now. Let's go for it.
It's number 1.
So shall we all do it all at once? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Game of Thrones.
Are you surprised?
The first time on M.T.V.B. history. We all have the same number 1.
How
but are you surprised?
Else?
Yeah. So let's go around the table and do it one for one. Why it's your number 1, sir? Starting with you.
You sure you want to start with me?
Yeah, come on. I'll start with you. Come on. You look like you got so much stuff on your chest that needs to come out.
He wants to cry right now.
I love that TV series. That TV series did so good right up until the last series. And the thing I really
was
appreciate...
it the actual series, the last series, or just the last episode?
Last series.
The last series, okay.
The whole last series. Because and interesting, and again, it goes back to that. It was an event. You were waiting for that to come up. I would be sitting down at, on the couch on my own. I've made sure the kids are in bed and the wife,
No interruptions.
No interruptions. I was watching that. And the thing is, you had to watch it because someone at work would blooming spoil it the next day.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
And the thing it did good is it brought sort of fantasy a bit more. It gave it a bit more validity because there was people I work on quite a large crew back in those days, and it was all sorts of different ages, backgrounds, things like that. And I was surprised when I come in, unashamedly like my sci-fi, my fantasy. Not many people in a security job who are going to chat to me, about it. And then suddenly I've got like my 58-year-old colleague, female colleague, going to me, you watching Game of Thrones?
Did you see Boobs and Dragons last night?
Well, so many people got caught up in that.
It did bring a lot of people together.
So many people got caught up
talking about it.
And the problem with fantasy, and a lot of fantasy, is your heroes are invincible. So you could sit down and you could turn on your fantasy or your sci-fi thing and you would know Mr. Hero was going to make it through. He could just shrug off an injury. And then that first series, when old Neddy Boy Stark gets his head lopped off, you're like, nah, he's going to get out of it. He's going to get out of it.
It was a prosthetic. It was in a box.
No, not by that point. And then you're like, oh my God. And they were killing off. And there were so many phenomenal TV moments in that
Absolutely.
In the series.
Yeah.
And everyone goes back to the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
That was an amazing piece of TV, and it still is an amazing piece because I love Game of Thrones. It would be my all-time top TV series, without a doubt, until that last. And there's
no way any other TV company could have done it if HBO wasn't behind it. No, there's no way you would have.
Big budget. Like you say, it had so much clout behind it. You had so many different stories going on with big name actors and things cropping up, and
it came to a one. One singular sort of...
Well, it's leading towards things because you're always told the tagline was bloody winter is coming.
Yeah.
So this big thing's being built up beyond the wall. You know, the Night King's out there, and it's that threat building and all the other stuff. You're thinking, all that other stuff's not going to matter when the Night King turns up. It's not going to matter. You're all bickering and fighting over the crown, and all the Baratheons are going at it like some sort of...
The Baratheons.
Yeah, they're all chopping into each other and smashing each other up, and... You know, the Lannisters are doing all their stuff, and it's not going to matter because winter is coming. And last series, winter comes for about one episode, and then that's it,
and it's all done.
And
very rushed, wasn't it?
It was. It was like again that blooming Timmy, the intern, came up, and they let him.
Not him again.
They let him write it. They let him direct it as well. Because
do you know how bad it was? It was
jaw-droppingly
I had to tell
bad.
myself. Like, I remember all these guys. Like, I don't know if you listen. Like, I'm not saying it because I put it on my list. Like, even now, I still consider it a really good show.
It is.
Yeah. But the ending is a letdown, and I have to force myself and tell myself it's
and this
really
is why
good.
you should not do a show with no source material for it.
Yeah, because they ran ahead of the books.
Yeah, and I don't know why they contracted the actors for only 8 seasons. Yeah. You could have gone up to 15 or something with that.
But what annoyed me is George R.R. Martin came out at the end when there was a big backlash about the ending. So many people.
He said they had source material for 3 seasons.
Well, no, he was like, because they made a bit before it came out. They were saying, no, George R.R. Martin has told us where he was going to go. We're going to stick to that. And then everyone was like jaw dropped. All the fans are just coming out from behind their hands, going, "What? This is how you choose to end it?" And then George R.R. Martin pops up and sort of said in the aftermath, "Yeah, that's what I wanted to do." And you're like, seriously?
Did he actually say that?
I'm sure I remember hearing, something.
No, I remember him.
I think he's backtracked on it since, but because you're like, how? There were so many problems. So I'm going to rattle through a few. And if anyone wants to chip in,
no, go for it.
Yeah, is there a Starbucks cup in it involved?
Yeah,
that was classic.
I mean, it was just a joke, wasn't it? The last series.
How it was too rushed. It was so rushed.
They rushed everything. If you're going to build up so many things at the end,
yeah.
Well, the rumors was, this is what I got at the end. They obviously, I think I mentioned it before. They got offered a big money to do something, and they rejected that to offer us do something else. But I remember the creator, he did come out and say, no, they had so much material to do another 2-3 episodes. I don't know how true that is, but that's why.
Well, they tried to cram so much in to because the season size shrunk down, didn't it? For the last one.
That winter
episodes.
episode should have been a whole season, I reckon.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, and
yeah, but the whole 10 episodes, not 6.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Because
this is what I mean. You're like, winter is coming. Yes. We're going to get the Night King come for. He's got a badass dragon that's come back to life.
Ice dragon.
An ice undead dragon. What? And then winter came and was gone in an episode. And then you're like, oh, okay, so now what? We go and fuck around in King's Landing and go for the... there's so much... So going from the beginning, the problems are you had that stupid scene where the whole Dothraki horde ride out into the darkness and one person rides back and it's old... what's his name? Daenerys' friend, who's got a grey scale.
What season is this?
The last series. They ride off against the Night King, don't they, into the darkness, all wielding torches.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And they all get masked and all the torches go out, and then one person comes back with his plot armour intact. And it's old, it's that guy who got grayscale.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got this massive epic fight at Winterfell where they are fighting the army of the Night King, and at one point there's just piles of bodies. And the only people left alive are named characters.
Yeah.
And this is in Game of Thrones, which shocked a lot of people because it killed off important people. It made you feel like no one was safe.
Yeah.
The people you liked could get brutally killed in a wedding or something else, or their heads chopped off. And it made it special. Because it bucked that fantasy trend of, oh, well, there's a big fight, but your heroes are going to come out the other side.
Yeah.
So there's this massive fight. And I just want to remind you, there's piles of dead, and at one point, there's just named characters standing. So that's where we're at, okay? Then Arya jumps out of nowhere and fucking stealth attacks the Night King in a really unsatisfying ending. I was like, really?
Yeah, what was that about?
It's like
she had his eyes or something?
No, she just jumped in.
No, he catches her, and then she drops the knife, catches it with the other hand, and stabs him, doesn't she?
But he is like super aware of everything, and he just doesn't notice her running up. It felt like they needed.
Yeah, there was something more about it, innit? Because something about eyes. I swear it's something about eyes. she has.
I don't know.
But
No, she has the ability to like camouflage to anyone, wasn't it? But she doesn't do that. She just jumps up out of herself.
Jumps up out of nowhere, and that's a really unsatisfying ending for the Night King.
Yeah.
Like you need,
especially after that, my favorite episode in season 5 when they build him up so much, and then it's just that and
literally she comes out of darkness. No one hears her coming because there's a surround. All his lieutenants are surrounding.
Yeah, exactly. They're all around him.
They're all around him. Not one of them's gone.
Hang about.
I can hear footsteps. What's that?
And it's one of those. And it's one of those ones where you kill one and the rest die. Yeah. It's not like the rest are still there.
And that was just unsatisfying. I mean, technically, like some of the fights in that were good in that episode. Yeah. When you could see them because it was quite dark. So that's another problem. Then after that, that's all wrapped up in a nice little bow, and you're like, okay, well,
done. Next
maybe there's going to be building to a better ending. Even though I think that whole Winter is Coming thing that you've been building up was done. That was a real disservice.
Destruction of King's Landing was
the first kick.
Yeah, but bearing in mind, right, because I can suspend disbelief for a good TV show or film, but they were pushing the limit so hard because. Bearing in mind, Winterfell, the army, the King in the North's army, there was just a few named characters left alive, standing in a heap of bodies, chopping down. They were completely outnumbered, and then somewhere, Jon Snow pulls out of his arse a magic army big enough to march down and take on King's Landing. What? Where were they? Were they just hiding? Were they somewhere in the tents going, sound pretty bad out there, guys? Let's just
stay down, they won't kill us.
Let's just bolt the doors.
Yeah.
And hope that, because he magics an army out of something. I mean, King's Landing, like I say, I think the script was bad and the directing was bad. Everyone else was trying to put in their best. So the people choreographing and filming that did really good jobs. There's some really good cinematic moments, but they were just working with shit. No matter how good as an artist or a sculptor you are, you can't sculpt shit into something that people are going to like, can you?
It's still going to stink.
Exactly.
And then you've got all the character arcs go back and they just completely trashed. Daenerys suddenly turned. They spin her. They flip her
completely.
She goes from being like the breaker of chains and the mother of dragons. And
they kind of hint it in other seasons, don't they? That she might be.
She could be a Targaryen.
Yeah, like the. She conquers a city, I think, in season 3, and then she
crucifies all the.
That's right. Who wronged her? So they kind of hinted, didn't they?
But that was done from conviction. And justice.
Yeah, yes, totally.
And then in the last series, they're like, oh no, we've got to make her a baddie. So let's start putting in some really cheesy, like, oh no, actually, no, she's a bad guy sort of things. Let's turn her around. And it's just unbelievable. You don't feel it does the character justice. Jaime Lannister, he's gone on this whole sort of arc where he's breaking away from the toxic. His
he's trying to get her sister,
and he's sort of gone on this big thing with old Brienne of Tarth, and
which went nowhere. Went
nowhere. He went back to his sister, and they got squashed.
Yeah.
That was fulfilling.
Bran becomes king. That was unfulfilling as well.
That pissed me off because again, that the only reason he ended up as king is because they went. Well, everyone wants it to be Jon Snow.
Why does Tyrion get to pick?
Everyone wants it to be everyone. The last character you would have wanted to put on that fucking throne is Bran, who all he's done for 9 series is sit there in a chair going, "Oh, I'm the three-eyed raven. I'm not part of this. I'm the three-eyed raven. I have no designs on the throne or anything." And
he doesn't even show up at all in season 5.
Yeah, and then suddenly at the end they're like, "Oh, Bran should be it," but he spent the whole other series going, no, I'm not involved in this. I'm something different on top and beyond. Oh, let's put him on the throne.
Just annoying. Annoying.
I've said it.
John's ending I hated as well. It's like, we have to send you north. It's like, they're not going to know if you go north, mate. Just say, like, I'm going to go here, but then come back. Yeah. It's like...
Come back, we need you.
Like I say, all the characters in that they did.
And how do they know that he killed... what's her name?
Daenerys.
No, Khaleesi.
Yeah, Daenerys.
Yeah, I always call her. Because she dies and then the dragon takes her away. Yeah. So how did I know that he done it? He could have just said, "Oh, the fucking dragon took her away. I'll take the throne. Oh, I know it's melted, but I'll take the throne." Because he's technically the rightful heir anyway, wasn't it? That was the point of it.
Because he was Targaryen.
Yeah, and he was fucking his aunt.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, it's freaky, but.
What does that matter when you've got brother and sister going at it?
Yeah, exactly.
They've set the bar low on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
How would have you
the incest
have ended it?
I think they needed to resolve King's Landing somehow,
Yeah.
Or they needed to have Jon Snow's army beaten but not destroyed up in Winterfell, and then they get pushed back maybe towards King's Landing,
but they can come back,
and then they have to sort of either fight it out or politic it out, and then they have a massive second, because then you could have made winter coming a bit more of a thing, because if you have that massive defeat of of a character that you think can't lose, and they sort of have to, constantly make their way back as everything gets destroyed, or, turn to winter and things like that. And then they arrive at King's Landing where all that shit's going on. And then they're all antagonists, and you could either have them work together or some of them bump each other off in a power struggle. And it would have been anything, anything could have been more
I reckon it's going back to how they probably didn't know how to end it themselves, even the creator.
I think they just checked out. It's Timmy, that damn Timmy. I blame Timmy.
Epoxy Timmy again.
Yeah.
He's already ruined Dexter, now he's going to ruin Game of Thrones for me. But no, I think going into it, we all, as fans, had theories that didn't come true as well. Yeah. Was that another thing that pissed you off as well with it?
Well, it's who you wanted on the end, you wanted conclusions for the arcs. You wanted justification, and no one seemed to get it, apart from the Hound. He's the only one who seemed to get his logical ending.
Did he, though?
Yeah.
Well, he got
because he went against the Mountain in the end, didn't he?
And he got to take him out eventually.
See, you going back to what you were saying about Lost, how you had your family.
Yeah.
That was what mine was with mine and, work colleagues and whatnot. When it got to the last series, you guys were coming here to watch it and whatnot. And we were just disappointed after episode because nothing was coming out of it that we were predicting as well. Was like another downside to it.
Yeah, as the season was progressing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After every episode.
Because there was like significant things coming up, like, what's her name? Arya?
Yeah.
Like, they were making out that she was going to be like Lady Death or something and whatnot, like with the Black Horse after King's Landing and whatnot. And it just come out and like, everyone's like, she's going to kill Cersei. And then, like you said, it just ends up being killed under a pile of rubble. And we just never got what we wanted. Like, the Mountain was another theory that he had the head of Joffrey on him, which I still think he did because he definitely had his eyes. Yeah. He had his poison bloodshot red eyes, didn't he? Sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, to appear, he looks like just a beast Chinaman, really, underneath that helmet. And it's just a massive disappointment.
Overall, it is very disappointing.
The journey was epic,
but
like you said, the ending was so unsatisfying.
How could you have done all of that and
do
then
that? I asked the same question
that way.
Yeah. Do you guys think it was maybe like a publicity stunt? Maybe at the end of it, they'll be like, but we have one more episode or something like that. No,
they're doing the prequel now, aren't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, and I don't know how many people are going to agree with me with that, but I have no hype for that.
No, not at all.
Because
you're
going to still watch it, though?
No, probably won't, unless someone tells me it's really good, because I haven't watched any Game of Thrones since that last series. That's how bad it hurt.
Wow. It hurt you that bad?
Yeah, I was always contemplating going back, but then because you know what's going to come, you're like...
it.
Yeah.
Because you're going, oh, well, that doesn't matter. That character's arc doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
So what's the point of me getting
I still think they'll they'll redo that season. I have faith.
You can't... How can you redo something? Because if you redo something, you admit... And you're going to change it that drastically.
They won't redo it.
You're admitting that... You're admitting that you failed, haven't you?
I heard about that. They were talking about it. Apparently the writers were like, oh shit, we didn't expect that from anyone. Maybe we should redo it or something like that. But like you said...
And this is what makes me laugh. It's like they contracted it for 8 seasons. Yeah. They got it down to shorter episodes, like Dave was saying. Like we got down to 10 episodes per season originally. They got it down to 6. All because they're saying that, their contracts are running out. Well, no. I've not seen anyone from Game of Thrones do anything else since that's ended. So why they couldn't have extended contracts, made it longer, do like what Joe R. Martin said, just get 3 more seasons out of it, expand it a bit.
The only person that
take your time with it, We waited, we waited nearly 2 years just for that last season. Because they delayed it.
And it
saying,
felt like such a wait as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Because they just didn't know what to do with it. And that's why they were taking too much time with it. So when the hype finally came, that's what we got.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Sure.
See, because I was watching it on mine, I was going onto the internet straight after and watching people on YouTube who had watched it and were doing like immediate,
reactions.
Reactions on YouTube were amazing.
And I was just like, and they were starting off so hopeful. People were having their viewing parties, or they were like so excited.
When you see them watching it in a bar and whatnot,
and they've got like all the memorabilia behind them, and flags and stuff, and then you're just like, and you sit, and their expressions and their sort of attitude just mirrored mine, where they're like, you think after episode 2, they're like, they're going to start tearing that shit down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. It's like a big thing in Iceland as well, like in like Reykjavik or something like that. Like all the places, like all the pubs, like even like watching a football match or something like that. But people generally watching, the season finale of,
it's like kind of like we were doing. We were watching it here, all 5 of us.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Wow.
Do you know? Did any of you hear there was a random extra who was in every series or something?
Yeah, he's in the documentary.
He's in a documentary about
this. Yeah,
I feel so sorry for that guy. Like he's my main. I feel so because he is an Uber fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he had a big old beard, and he was in like every. You can spot him because they go back in the documentary, don't they? And they point him out because he was like an Uber fan who got to be in it, and he gets dressed up as one of the one of the Northern Stark soldiers, and he's got all the clobber on, and he's so excited to be part of it. And you think, oh, you poor guy, you've done that for the love of it, all those series, and that's the ending.
He probably still liked it though, because he can say he'd been there and whatnot at the end of the day.
At least
But he's a super fan, so you think,
super fans are like, no, it's the best show in the world. They will never.
Are you going back to your thing where you said about watching the reactions? Did you ever go back and watch the reactions to like Red Weddings and stuff like that?
No.
See, I watched one where Joffrey dies, the poisoning, and I'll never forget it to this day because it's probably one of the funniest I've ever seen. There's like this woman on her own, she's an American woman, sitting there watching it, and she's like, oh my god, he's dead. And then the last bit, she goes, see you in hell, you little cunt. I was like, I'll never forget that. That was amazing.
Why did she say? Who did she say?
To Joffrey, because Joffrey's
everyone hated him.
Everyone hated him. Come on, he was a prick.
But they resolved everything so satisfyingly until that last series.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, you reckon they could just finish it off in the last season 5?
Even like the previous seasons, it didn't like have any like fault in them. It was amazingly done. And then, you talked about the Battle for.
The Battle of the Bastards.
Sorry, that was
that was a really good
amazing.
episode.
Yeah, Bolton. Was it Bolton?
Yeah, Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah, he was a damn good bad guy as well.
He came in and filled them Joffrey shoes, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you get that satisfying closure with him because there's that fantastic. The actor, is it Ewan Ryan or something?
Yes, yeah.
He did it so well. He played that character so well, and there's that lovely payoff where he's chained to a chair.
And the dogs
and all his own dogs that he's been starving and feeding people to, and Sansa Stark, who's been raped and abused by him, just gets to release the hounds on him.
She's the one character I always wanted her to die. Can't stand her. She's annoying in season 1 too. Come on, when she just lets Joffrey do this and that and whatnot, and she knows it's wrong. She even like kills her dad in front. She doesn't say stop or anything. No, she just says, just kill my dad. Go for it.
Well, she's just helpless, isn't she? But
she's a strong, confident woman
by the end, but not at the beginning. But how could you get that? They must have literally sat down in the evening and gone, right, I'm going to bash the scripts out in one evening and I'm going to get it done, and then whatever that.
But no, it's going back to what Big G was saying, that the creators had other projects thrown in their face and they just wanted to, well, let's get this over and done with so we can go start on this now.
But that is disrespect to the fans.
Absolutely, of course it is.
Big time.
But they don't care. They're going to earn shitloads of money out of it.
But surely, like, if it was me or you, we've created something like, from the beginning, season 1 to season 7. You want to, finish it, do it properly, at least have that sort of
respect
sense and respect.
Because you feel like they cared for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Leading up. How could you
just be like, let's move on. Like, this is your baby, you want to at least see it.
But at the end of the day, they had nothing to go on it.
Yeah,
because
they had no source material, did they? Because he's still trying to finish the fucking book, which I don't think will ever come.
He is never going to do that. He's sitting on too much cash.
Yeah,
from that he's probably made way too much.
Stops
cash.
people reading the books because what's the point? There's no fucking ending.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's probably even stopped his creative thought of writing a book. He's probably thought, fucking hell, what's the point? It's done.
Doesn't need to know, but hey,
That's a downer for the ending, isn't it?
But I think a lot of our listeners agree with us on that one. You know?
I think
like,
everyone will.
seriously.
Unless you're a hardcore fan, who won't.
even the hardcore fans would. Yeah,
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
a damn.
Well,
good
they're
show,
the ones
but
who've been done the most disservice.
yeah.
Yes.
kick in the teeth, mate.
Shame.
Any honorable mentions before we go, guys? Any honorable mentions?
Heroes.
Hero.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
So what was it? Save the cheerleader.
Yeah,
Save the world.
Save the world.
That's it.
Was it?
Yeah. The first season of Heroes was absolutely
Was mind blowing, mate. It was a cracking
Oh my
show.
God.
ever,
And then
right?
I don't know why I didn't even watch season 2.
But season 2 got hit by the writer's strike, didn't
Yes.
it?
I did it.
So and that's why we're in downhill. Season 3 was okay. They're kind of bringing it back, but still didn't do justice.
Yeah.
But-
Did they recently bring it back or no?
They tried to do something with it. I swear they tried to bring it back.
I've
there's
seen
4
sign
seasons
on
altogether.
Facebook
No
about it.
interest.
No.
No.
So if any
What
news come
is-
up, I would have scrolled past
What
that.
about? I don't know if it's not. I don't think it's finished. Walking Dead.
Oh,
Similar?
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's going to finish soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't have an ending though, does it? So
Yeah,
you
I
can't
know.
really use that.
Quickly, when you were mentioning stuff being cancelled,
Yeah.
you really liked. For me, Reaper. You ever seen that? That was like a comedy.
Yeah,
American.
well, the devil and
Yeah, so it's
the
son,
guy.
son of the devil, and he's like he's got to catch souls from.
Yeah, Robert Wise.
escapes.
Kevin Smith was
Oh,
behind
okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to catch escaped souls,
Sounds fun.
and he's got to send them back to hell.
It's so weird. So basically, New Amsterdam,
Okay.
big child psychologist with a beard.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
He's in it
Wow. Okay.
when he was younger.
He's so cool.
But
So cool.
and that was a hard finish because I remember again I was at uni at the time and my dad had taped it and put it on a disc. That used to happen, right?
What?
and sent it to me so I could watch it on a written DVD.
Wow.
And he was like, "This is just the end." And I'm like, because they were setting it up to he's going to have this big confrontation with his devil father. And some old angels were going to help him, or devils were going to help him rebel against. And then it was just like, nope, it's been cancelled, and that's it. Damn, what?
Why?
See, like
Why?
This is what puts me off at TV shows a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think even like today when this week making a list, like there's TV shows that I've stopped like watching because it was like raw, like not good. But I think I'd rather watch movies. Well, movies sometimes been disappointing as well. But
That's another episode.
What annoys me if it's made, if you're showing it,
Yeah.
then everything's been made, it's been edited. Why cancel it? Why not just either let it run or release it on the internet, the last episode, so that people who want to can watch it?
Yeah, because we mentioned another episode where Swamp Thing came out. Obviously the 10 episodes already be done, but they cancelled it when episode 1 aired, and then they announced it's cancelled anyway.
Yeah.
So why continue? Even though it doesn't have an ending, whatnot.
I was adamant I was going to watch it, and then he was like, "What's the point? What's the point?
What's the reason?
I watched the first episode, and I was like, "You know what? Yeah, he's right. What's the point? It's like it's not going to go anywhere." So
And they've done that with Constantine TV series.
they've done loads. There was loads.
Oh shit!
Like, last 2 years, they've cancelled so many shows left, right, centre.
Is it because of the pandemic? Or?
And
before
on a
that.
previous episode on season 3 here, the comic book guys who I have on there, they pushed Jupiter's Legacy, which has just been cancelled by Netflix as well.
yeah.
So won't be watching that now either. Again, no point.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, is there any point watching TV shows nowadays? Then
Well, look at Mindhunter.
Oh, yeah.
Mindhunter's on hold.
No.
It's not cancelled,
not.
but
It's
it's
on
on
hold.
hold.
It's on hold.
Thank God
Permanent
for that.
hold, which is another way of saying it's cancelled. Come on, let's face it.
No, it's not
It's,
gonna be
when you're talking about
Mindhunter's amazing.
Hannibal, Dave, I was thinking about that because this is based on real life serial killers, and Mindhunter. Have you seen it?
No,
No,
Oh,
no.
what? Check it
Oh,
out.
it's
Wicked.
great.
but it's on hold.
But it's on permanent hold, by the way.
It's still
No,
happening.
start watching it. It's great.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
It's really good. David Fincher, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's yeah. Oh, come on. Really good.
Maybe give it a go.
We need to do. I'm feeling very low after this, man.
We need
bring it
some-
up.
We need an upbring on the next episode.
Yeah.
But hey, come on.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah, so guys, if you liked what you listened to, if we get you to follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B podcast or on Instagram at M.T.V.B podcast. We're also now on Twitter at the M.T.V.B podcast 1 or on TikTok at M.T.V.B podcast 197. Subscribe to be notified when future episodes are available. So for now, this is Ant-Man, Goku, Big Gal and Dave saying winter is not coming. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you later, guys.
See you later, guys.